All right, today is Tuesday, March 15th. It's 6:32.
Correct.
Okay. Madam Clerk, call the meeting to order.
Okay, welcome to the regular council meeting. Council, okay. Roll call.
Roll call, go ahead.
Counselor Smith, Counselor Gowdy, Counselor Martin,
Present
Counselor Bahoviak,
and stay
Present.
okay, and Counselor Stevenson will be a little bit late tonight. Next, remarks of public on agenda items only. There's a 2-minute time
We
limit.
got 2 minutes, anything related to the agenda. We got a long agenda here, but most of it is neighbor next door. Okay, so if you want to say something about it.
Without video.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Madam Clerk.
all right. Nobody online to speak? All right. Reports and announcements of the mayor.
Evening, Council.
Look
President.
at that
Okay, thank you.
asshole. That
It's good to see you. Couple talking points. We'll stay with our COVID update.
You can turn your phone off, it's definitely.
County Board of Health and the state CDC department for updates on COVID. Just reiterate that City Hall remains at a soft close. That's because we don't want unnecessary residents or unnecessary visitors in the building with this virus going on. So we still will remain at a soft close. Let's see. Potholes. Many of you know this is winter season in Northeast Ohio, and I will continue to ask for your understanding and patience as the service department moves around the city and patches the potholes, which is a standard practice during this time of the year. Reminding you that with some good news, we do have Superior, which is slated for resurfacing. Shaw, Ivanhoe, Brewster, parts of Forest Hills Avenue, 3rd and Northville, a section of Northville, I should say. Actually, surveying has already begun. If you've been throughout the city and you've seen trucks, work trucks, they have OHM.
Bahoviak got up front. You want to go get her back on?
So OHM is doing some surveying, and the engineer, Hansky, and the other engineer doing the surveying as they get ready to start some of this. We have some new legislation coming out tonight. Looking forward to the acceptance and approval of it as we continue to work together and bring resources, much needed resources to the city in the form of legislation, which must be passed by the city council. Many of it is grant related. Those of you who've not been to City Hall for a while, I hope you've noticed when you came in that there's a considerable amount of work, even in this room, going on as we try to modernize City Hall, including this courtroom / council chambers. As we dug into it and we started ordering materials, things started getting backed up. They blame it on COVID, but we're waiting on a lot of materials to come in. Of course, there's challenges with workers, materials, and now with this war, they're not sure if that will further delay some material and resources from coming in. ARPA, we've already started the home improvement grant.
Mayor,
We're still needing
we got a lot of new people living under what operations.
ARPA, the American Rescue Plan Act. Many of you may know the coronavirus came out in 2020. The president then, Donald Trump, came out with Coronavirus Relief Act, in which he provided funding for residents, governments, local, state, and federal, county. ARPA is our new president, Joe Biden. It is his response to that. It's the same as the coronavirus under Trump, in which he provides stimulus. Now, the homeowner grant funding, many of you have received award letters. Be patient as we work our way into getting this into a more efficient manner and getting more of these executed. We are still looking for contractors to do some of this work. So if you know contractors, please send them our way. And of course, homeowners, you don't have to use contractors that we have. You can use your own, we just have to register them with the city so that we can know who they are and then hold them accountable. I'd like to take a moment to thank council. Thank the president, thank the council for working with, like to pass these around. We today became the proud owners of a 100-foot ladder truck. I'm
Let them know that the fire truck is brand new.
right.
And we were out there earlier and they love it. Okay, we have a brand new fire truck, about $1 million.
Million plus. I think
Yeah.
it's like 1.2 million by the time it's
Took a
done.
year to build it.
Yeah, brand new build. The beautiful story behind it, when I was on council, we didn't have a 100-foot ladder truck. When I was thrust into the mayor position, the then council president, house burnt down, could have been partially saved had we had a 100-foot ladder truck. The very first thing I bought was a 100-foot ladder truck, used from Missouri or somewhere. I had to actually fly down and drive it back. So, working with council and of course the fire department, road grant. That grant was awarded, came as council, if I'm not mistaken, as an emergency. We pressed council, we worked with council, they passed it. That from Euclid up to where Cleveland Heights border starts will be resurfaced. Right? So we already had Superior from Euclid going into Cleveland resurfaced. Right? This was compliments of County Executive Coolidge and Cheryl Stevens, our County Council rep. So I'd like to thank council for working together, and just so that you know, we have an EMS that was passed, so we'll get a new EMS truck. We're getting a new pumper, which is a fire truck. We finally passed the salt trucks, and council, you're beautiful. We're working together on your behalf. So all that stuff done. I'd like to pre-thank council with some things that are on there tonight. And that is the license plate reader, shot spotter, body camera training happened today. As we look for a way to better hold ourselves and our employees, our i.e. police, accountable. These body cameras are state of the art, and we work with the police and city council to get that through, and they get proper funding in place. These are all grant dollars. So these are resources that we're bringing into the city. Doesn't cost the city anything. What's also nice about it, license plate reader and shot spotter, if we determine it's not for us, it's just not working out, we can cancel and get rid of them. So we have these free of charge for a year, right? Hoping that passes tonight. I have on here, Council President, you wanted me to mention the grants that we weren't successful.
Yes, please, I want you to mention this for the record.
For the record, there are a number of resources that we've tried to bring into the city. And I want to keep this positive, I want to keep it upbeat. I would ask that as residents and as council, we hold each other, as elected officials, we hold each other accountable to bring these resources to the city, particularly when we do our due diligence on our end, administration, and we put it in front of city council. So just recently, we lost out on a $50,000 grant for infrastructure in the Forest Hill Park. For those of you who use the park over the last 10, 12 years, been no running water, no toilet. This infrastructure grant was designed for that. The thing that's hurtful is that as an administration, we work to develop relationships, strengthen relationships, partnerships, county, state, federal agencies to bring these resources in. This grant was tailor-made. This grant was tailor-made for the park, right? As they listen to our concerns and needing, we're still working with the metro parks to bring the metro parks, managing it. But until that's done, we still need to bring water to the park, right? This legislation came down and was placed in committee where it died. It died for lack of the ability to apply. And where it gets hurtful, those of you who know grants, and I just brought this down, here's a document that they want. And as you can see, it's just a blank document, right? But as a municipality, I can't have our consultants that we pay for OHM. I can't have them submit this without legislation, right? We sent the legislation down, they took it, sent it to committee and it died. That's the document. And as you can see, there's nothing on it, right? Because that's the application to apply. But before you can apply, you must pass legislation. We're still waiting on the numbers to come in for our ice melt this year. As you know, we've got a nice, easy couple of last winters. We haven't used much rock salt. Late last summer, the bid went out for the state. And as part of the municipality, we can't piggyback on the state term contract and enjoy state pricing. Because council wouldn't pass that legislation, we had to buy rock salt on the open market. Right, so we're still waiting on those numbers to come in, and trust me, they charged us whatever they wanted to charge us. We overpaid for it, we had to use a lot of it. CAT equipment. There's some other equipment that's needed, is used by the service department. We've been back and forth with the old council, this is our new council, to get it passed. So we were informed yesterday or today that there's been a $15,000 increase in the CAT equipment. Thankfully, with the new council here, it did pass, but that was unavoidable as we waited a little too late to pass. County public health contract, it is signed like at the last minute. Many of you know, it's the county public health that provides many of the health services in our city, including monitoring our convenience stores and restaurants. We don't have a public health department here, which is why that's important. And it passed. I forgot how it passed, but I know it was last minute, right? And it was simply because we didn't have an alternative. And we would have broken state law by not passing. So anyway, keeping it upbeat, up tempo. Let's continue to work together, right? If you haven't seen a new fire truck, please go out there. We kick the tires. Yeah, it's right over here. They're gonna be taking it over to Shaw. That's where it'll be stationed out of.
Thank you.
So thank you. That concludes my report.
And since the majority of the people here from neighbor next door, if you go out this door and make a right, go to the right, you'll see it about 5 feet down. Brand new truck, beautiful. Okay, so we can protect our citizens. Madam Clerk, let's continue.
Okay. Receipts of communications and petitions, there are none. Proclamations, none at this time. Reports from council committees.
Okay, we'll start with Councilman Ernest Smith. Sir, it's good to see you this evening, sir. Okay, all right.
Thank you all for coming out. I chair the Personnel and Appointments Committee. Our next committee meeting will be on the 22nd, right here in this room at 6:30. The committee meetings are very, very important. In our last committee meeting, we had a joint meeting with Mr. President and the Health and Safety Committee, where we met with the chief of police and other officers about this very legislation that's on the docket for tonight. The shot spotter and the license plate reader in an effort to slow down some of the many high-speed casualty chases that have been going on in the city of East Cleveland. With that report, I thank you.
Thank you,
Mr. President.
Brother Smith. Lady Dowdy, what's give the name of your committee?
Contracts of property, we met and we had a gender review meeting and we asked everybody to come out with property the next door neighbor. And I'm glad you're here today, so we can get busy and what's it?
Council
Okay,
President,
yes.
just clarification, Chief Worley wrote that to let everybody know, the fire truck is now at Station 2 on Shaw at this time,
Oh,
because that's the bays where it fits in and that's where it will be homed.
just anyway, okay, thank you. Tracy.
You're welcome.
Just again.
All right.
Oh, you know, let me say something. I share health and safety. I've shared it over the years. And the good news is we got new fire trucks. Okay. And our challenge with a major challenge with our police department is that we can't pay them what we need to pay them. That's our struggle. So we get police, they come here, we work 2 years and they go somewhere else and make a lot more money, but they get great experience here. They like our police. Okay. And like any situation, it's not a perfect situation. So we're struggling to try to get especially young African Americans to apply to be policemen, male or female. So you know someone, have them put in, okay? With 3.1 miles, and I think we have a good fire department. I think we have a good police department. We have a perfect one. No one does. Thank you.
Okay, Counselor Bahoviak, do you have something to say about contracts and general services committee?
Administration, we are still trying to work on getting a meeting with all of the involved personnel, including Keisha Chambers, including all three of the members, which we have not yet had. We've not yet had Councilor Martin present for a general service and administration, but the goal is to have a consolidated plan that discusses the water infrastructure, the resurfacing, and the potholes, so that we don't end up with the situation that we've had before, that we've had to redo things because the water infrastructure wasn't taken care of before the resurfacing. So the goal is still to get everybody to that meeting, and I've had great difficulty getting everybody to the meetings. Thank you.
Now moving on to legislation. Resolution number 4821. A resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Timothy R. Austin under the neighbor next door ordinance and at a cost of $100, a parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 12601 Speedway Overlook, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112.
Okay, Tim, and you remember. Okay, go ahead, Tim Austin. Come up, please.
Greetings, Council, greetings, Mayor King.
Hello, Brother Austin.
You
You got 2 minutes off.
There's a lot.
You look like you're ready to.
I'm just happy that we try to get into this place. This lot is very important to me and my family.
Okay.
The plan is for me to actually enhance our community, make it a little bit safer, put some more lights out there, clean it up a lot. And I got a master plan, make it so that when you come by the corner, you transport yourself safely. I got a lot of children that pass from, I guess now Speedway Overlook going to the park.
Okay,
No, make it so they can pass by a place occupied by flowers and safety, a little bit more lighting, some stuff like that, until I get to my long-term plan. A nice garage and all that other stuff, as my money grows up. So
okay.
If you give me opportunity, I would love to have that space to continue to enhance that corner.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Austin? Okay, I accept the motion of one,
Counselor Bahoviak?
May I make a comment, please? I'm concerned that since we don't have a law director who was approved by council since her contract was first signed in 2014, in December 2014, that we don't have a legal opinion that says that someone who is so recently off of council is able to obtain properties. Because there's a resolution that says that people who have been on council within the last year shouldn't be getting things with the council. And we don't have a law director.
we're gonna move on this. We've been back and forth with this over the last 2 months. Okay, we're moving on. I'll accept the motion.
But we have to have a motion
We have to have a motion.
for sponsorship, Counselor Gowdy.
Downey,
You have a motion to adopt?
she was talking about,
What was she saying?
something about the law director and something that's, not really pertaining to her stuff.
Oh.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Second motion.
No, you need to make the motion.
Oh, yeah, I make a motion.
You're so happy today.
Make the motion, Charlie,
I make the motion.
on resolution 4821. Is there a second? Okay. Any other discussion on it? Okay, let's have the vote. Madam
Okay.
Clerk, call the roll.
Counselor Gowdy?
Yeah.
Counselor Martin?
Yay.
Counselor Smith? Counselor Bahoviak?
Nay,
Yay or nay?
nay.
Okay, it's passed. He gets it. Let's move to the next one. Congratulations, Ms. Dawson.
Thank you.
Go to the next one.
Resolution number 7021.
Yes, go ahead.
Once you're done, you can leave. You don't have to stay. Resolution number 7021, a resolution authorizing,
Go ahead.
a resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Shirley Jackson Duncan under the neighbor next door ordinance and at a cost of $100, a parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 1053 Thornhill, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112.
Thank you. Ms. Jackson, come up. Go ahead. You want to move this? Let's hear what she has.
Second.
Hi, my name is
It's been
Cheryl.
said, wait a minute, hold on one second.
It was motion and second by Bahoviak.
Second by- Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Ms. Jackson.
My name is Shirley Duncan Jackson.
Okay.
I've been in East Cleveland at 1057 Thornhill since 1962. I have seen it as high and I've seen it as full. But I'm still gonna say right here in East Cleveland.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to get this land.
Thank you.
I want
Thank
to
you.
give it a guide.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, Ms. Jackson?
No, that's it. Thank
Okay,
you.
any questions for Ms. Jackson? Go
What did you
ahead.
say you gonna put on the
A guide.
Ms. Lord.
name?
This is girl.
Okay, I'll accept the motion. We have motion on the floor?
No, you need a motion to adopt?
On, for 7021, Charlie. Is there a second to the motion?
Is there a second to adopt?
Second.
Counselor Bahoviak, thank you.
Seconded by Joe.
Yes,
Call the roll.
okay. Counselor Smith,
Yeah.
Counselor Gowdy, Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Bahoviak,
Yay.
nay or yay?
Yes,
Oh,
yay.
I'm sorry, it comes a little bit fuzzy. Thank you, ma'am.
You have it, Ms. Jackson.
All right, thank you.
Okay, congratulations. Get that garden going, Jackson. All right. Okay, next one.
Resolution number 7121. A resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer, we just did, sorry. Resolution 7121, resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Wanda Foster under the neighbor next door ordinance and at a cost of $100. A parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program located at 1272 North Blockwood, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112.
Hi, is this Wanda Foster?
Yes.
Hello, Ms. Foster, how are you? Okay, go ahead.
I plan to do a garden, vegetable garden. and flower garden
Okay.
For the community.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor, Madam Clerk.
A motion, we have a motion to adopt?
We need a motion to adopt.
Ms. Gowdy, motion to adopt. I need a second.
Second,
Mahovia, second. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
We'll take the vote.
Any questions for Ms. Foster? Mayor, anybody? No, let's move it.
All right, Counselor Smith,
What's the next step?
Counselor Mahoviak,
Once you vote, it's yours.
yay.
Okay?
Counselor Gowdy,
Right. Right, thank you.
Counselor
Ms. Foster, for
Martin.
coming.
it passed.
Did I vote yes? Okay, Ms. Foster? Ms. Foster,
Yeah.
you have it now.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Thank
okay? All right, let's go to the next one.
Resolution number 7221, a resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Leona Bailey Pollard under the neighbor next door ordinance and at a cost of $100. A parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program located at 1514 East 133rd Street, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112.
Okay, come on, Ms. Pollard, how are you this evening?
I'm good.
Good to see you. Just tell us what you want to do and then we're gonna move on it. Go ahead, Ms. Pollard.
I would like to do a lot of things. I would like to have a garden at the grandma's place.
Okay.
I'd like to have a flower garden and an extra place for my friends.
Okay,
All right.
And I would like to have it finished.
okay.
Thank you.
That's okay, Mary, you got it, right?
Yes.
Okay. All
I
right,
make a motion to, go.
Okay, I need a second to adopt. Okay,
Second.
Counselor Mahoviak seconded.
second.
Any
Any
questions?
questions to Ms. Pollard? Call the roll, man.
Okay, Counselor Smith, Counselor Gowdy, Counselor Mahoviak,
yes,
Counselor Martin,
Yay,
passed by 4.
it's passed, you have it. Thank you, Ms. Pollard. Good seeing you. Okay. Next one, Madam Clerk.
Resolution number 7321, resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Yasmin Mohammed under the neighbor next door ordinance and at a cost of $100, a parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 1600 Hillcrest, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112.
Okay, so Sister Muhammad, come on up. Go ahead, Johnny.
Hi, yes, we had such a plane, so I'm here, like, I'm Shahida Muhammad.
Okay,
So we were blessed enough to be able to buy the house together next door at 1640 Hillcrest, and the lot next door is 1600, we wanted to expand our yard.
mhm,
And in the back, I have some parking, there's like a dozen adult things, there's the all drive, we like to spend a lot of time together, so to get that off street parking and use the space for all of our kids, to have some yard space.
okay, good. Any questions? Any questions for anybody? Questions for Sister Muhammad? Anyone?
Okay, I need a motion to adopt.
Okay.
I need a
okay.
motion to adopt.
Okay.
Second, I need a second?
second,
All right,
All right.
thank you.
Okay.
Um,
Call the roll.
Counselor Smith,
Yeah.
Counselor Mahoviak,
yay,
Counselor Gowdy,
Yeah.
Counselor Martin,
Yay,
it's
you
passed.
got it, Sister Muhammad. All right, thank you. All right,
Resolution number 7421. A resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Reginald Lampkin under the neighbor next door ordinance and at a cost of $100, a parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 1824 Burnett, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112.
if Mr. I don't think Mr. Lampkin is here. Is he not here?
Yeah, hello. I'm here now. Can you hear me?
Okay, you on Zoom, Mr. Lampkin?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we would love to see you.
I'm staying in front of the camera, but okay.
Are you?
I could see him on the,
You just, okay. We're not gonna hold him up for him not being here. Okay, how you?
Yeah.
Some people, if they're sicker, that we really, yeah. Okay, sir.
Okay, all right, go tell Mr. Lampkin what you know what he's gonna do.
He can hear you. Could you please express what you're gonna do with the property, sir?
Oh, just expansion to my house and keep it clean, fence it in so I can keep my bad grandkids in the yard. And try to keep it clean a little bit around here. That's all.
Well, Brother Lampkin, we appreciate that. Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Brother Lampkin?
Well, I would love to see you in person, but since you're not here, since you is in front of a mic.
Yeah, actually,
You can see.
we can actually see him and you'll see him. Yep.
Okay, so-
Very nice looking gentleman, red jacket, glasses and a hat.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, my
So I
goodness.
would like to make a motion to.
Okay.
7421.
7421.
I need a second to
You need a
adopt.
second? I'll
Second,
second. Second.
Okay, first and second, okay.
All right, call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Counselor Smith?
Yes.
Counselor Gowdy?
Yay.
Counselor Bahoviak?
yay.
Counselor Martin?
Yay.
Passed by 4.
Okay, it's passed. Let's go to the next one.
Thank you, Mr.
Madam Clerk.
Lampkin.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lumpkin.
Okay, you don't have to stay logged on. You passed.
Okay.
So what do I need to do now?
They will notify you. The community development will notify you of the next steps.
Okay, thank you, and you have a
You're
great day.
welcome.
Thank you.
Resolution number 7521, a resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Pamela D. Davidson under the Neighbor Next Door ordinance and at a cost of $100, a parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 12717 Phillips, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112.
Okay, Pamela Davidson is here in front of us. Ms. Davidson, tell us what we're gonna do with the property.
I'm going to fence it in. Our purpose was to extend the property line,
Okay.
fence it in and put in a gazebo for family entertainment.
That sounds good.
Look at you.
All right, a gazebo, huh? You gonna do another level, huh? All right.
Oh, girl. So
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Could
She's
it,
gonna do
She's gonna put a gazebo on this property besides a nice garden.
thank you very much.
You're welcome, Counselor.
Gowdy makes the motion to adopt.
Okay, you wanna make the motion on 74, 7521.
I need a motion to adopt.
It's second by, Mahobian.
Okay, thank you both. Okay,
Call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Counselor Bahoviak?
Aye,
Okay, Counselor Smith?
Aye, isn't that?
Yeah, but I have to, because I have to be able to hear. Yeah, the feedback was horrible.
Okay.
Counselor Bahoviak said aye. Counselor Smith?
Yeah.
Okay. Counselor Gowdy?
Yay.
Counselor Martin?
Yeah.
Passed by 4.
Is I legal? Okay.
you want me to say yay? I'll say yes.
Say yay, please.
But the feet, yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that I was understood.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. She said yay.
76.
Yes.
We go to the next
Okay.
one, Madam.
Resolution 7621, a resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Brian Grooms and Francine Henderson under the Neighbor Next Door ordinance and at a cost of $100, a parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 14004 Potomac Avenue, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112. Potomac, oh, hey, you see how fast I'm reading these? I renamed them.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna stick around, we're gonna talk about it.
Okay. Well, first, everybody has already stole all my thunder. I am a landscaper. I have a garden in my backyard.
Okay.
I also would like to expand my garden, but my main thing is I want to build additional parking because I have been hit on the street.
All right.
So it was one of my goals was to put in the driveway and expand my garden and also fence the area and keep it clean.
All right.
I make a motion to.
Okay, there's a motion.
There's a motion on the floor.
I'll second it.
Okay, and second by Martin.
All right.
To
Okay,
adopt.
call the roll.
Counselor Smith?
Yay.
Counselor Bahoviak?
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy?
Yay.
Counselor Martin?
Yeah,
Pass.
you got it, Brother Williams. Thank you very much. Thank you. Is that the last one?
Nope. Resolution,
Okay.
resolution 7721. A resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Priscilla Golfin under the neighbor next door ordinance and that it costs $100. A parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 14006 Mont, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112.
Okay, I don't see Priscilla, but you represent Priscilla, I assume, right, brother?
Yes, I'm a son. I'm married.
All right, do your thing, son.
How y'all doing?
All right.
Me and my family moving up. I went to Shaw, I played basketball. I'm in part of the community for over 40 years.
All right.
My family's on several houses around the corner from there. And I'm just trying to change the culture myself.
This is kind of
in charge of what goes on in my family, close-knit family. And I tend on putting the desk and she brought to move my 84-year-old grandmother upstairs.
Oh.
Garden. And just making it, it's a centerpiece for our family anyway, so just making it big where everybody can come, barbecue and bonfire, things of that nature. And also too, I had inquired about the lot on the left side, but they told all the houses on the street set on our property. So the house is a lot on the left side that nobody got back to me about. Also, purchase that too with.
Well, on the other side, I would suggest you reach out to the mayor,
Okay.
because people will be glad to tell you how that works, right? Okay, but you're gonna get this right now,
Cool.
okay?
And also,
Okay.
we've been keeping up the property for over 10 years. And my mother part keeping the grass cut.
Okay.
Treated like it was always in there.
Thank you.
Okay, Counselor Gowdy, you have a motion to adopt?
I'm not second the motion.
And Martin, Counselor Martin seconds it. And I see that Counselor Stevenson is logged on to Zoom. Welcome, Counselor Stevenson. Okay, so Counselor Stevenson, we're voting on this? No. Counselor Bahoviak?
Yay.
Counselor Smith?
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy? Counselor Martin?
Yeah.
Passes.
It's fair.
Thank you.
You got it, brother.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, the next one, Madam Clerk.
Resolution number 7821, a resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Arnold F. Shelton and, Myrtle M. Shelton under the neighbor next door ordinance, and at a cost of $100, a parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program located at 14607 Orinoco, East Cleveland, 44112.
Okay, it's the Shelton. Is that Shelton? Hey, Shelton. Okay, all right.
This is my spokesperson here. Okay, go ahead. Oh, this is my daughter.
Okay, do you think, Melinda?
So
Right.
we wanted the property as, like the other gentleman, we've been maintaining the yard anyway. We have a lot of family functions and we need more space for a driveway and a backyard, so we wanted to expand the property line as well.
Okay, we appreciate that. Do what you say you're gonna do, fine. Any questions for the shelter? No?
I have 3 questions for y'all.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
You can get that really later, but, one of the questions were, are the property taxes the only expense for the land? My second question was it the appraised yearly property tax for the, what is the appraised yearly property tax for the land today? And, what are the required next steps to transfer the land over to my home and my brother?
Thank you. Those are good questions. So I'm gonna yield to the mayor, and he can answer that. I don't think you have to, but so you'll know, because everybody else will hear it also. Go ahead.
Thank you for asking that. Thank you for coming out. It's good to see you again. So Pamela Davison mentioned it earlier, and I probably should have said it at the start of this, that a number of people have left. Under the neighbor next door, there is a requirement in there that you consolidate your parcel with that parcel. So your property tax will go up By how much, I'm not sure. But your property tax is gonna go up and your sewer is going to go up because of now you created more land mass. I'm assuming your age, meet the age requirement, but they do have homestead will help offset the increase in them, right? The next step is building and housing. We'll prepare the documents, us transferring it to you, and then you have to take it to the county, register. Yeah, the law department prepares the documents, then you have to take the documents to the county, the deed, and have it registered. There's a slight cost to register that deed. I forget what it is.
Wrong one.
Yeah. But yeah, that's your next step. The law department will contact you with that deed.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have a question. How can the sewer go up if they ain't gonna use the water?
And that's gonna be my next question.
So as you remember.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
At that time,
One
sewer
question is.
goes by the concrete
Man.
mass on your parcel. So you may have an increase, you may not, depending on concrete land mass that you now require.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Does that satisfy you? You guys get your questions answered? Do what you say you're gonna do, and God bless you guys, okay? All right, thank you. We've been voting now. Go ahead, Kyle.
Second,
For adoption.
Adoption, seconded by Bahovic.
Seconded by,
Counselor Bahovic.
Okay.
Thank you,
Call
Counselor.
the roll.
Counselor Smith,
Yes.
Counselor Bahovic,
yay.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Stevenson.
Is she
There she
going
go.
now?
Yes,
I
Counselor Steve,
I would have to abstain because I didn't get the information I requested. Thank you.
Okay. Well, it's passed. It's
It
passed.
passed.
It's fine. Okay. Let's go. We'll go ahead.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Ms. Sheldon, we have some very important legislation concerning board logo that's coming up today. And, how can I say this very nicely? As you can see, some of the council members are,
So we can hear you.
they heard me.
Oh,
We have some very important legislation coming up as far as fixing the street of Port Locos tonight. I beg of you to stay. Some members might say they don't have all the information. This is the first read. There's been some controversy the past couple of weeks. This is an activity that should have happened back in 2012 with our former mayor. Was trying to sell us out. I just tell you exactly how it is. So he threw it up under the table. And we have a chance to get Fort Loco and Savannah, the understructure and the street fixed. And it would have been passed by now, but it's not. I beg of you to, so I beg of you to, you all look like you care. I beg of you to stay. Thank you. Mr. President. Trust me, I know exactly what you're doing. Right.
Right.
I beg you to stay too.
I appreciate that. You know, we had some grant situations that we had problems with. And I like for our council people to be here, but I can't force them to be here. The Zoom gives them that option, so whatever. But we're gonna get to all of them. We got about 4 or 5 legislation, but you have that. You have the power. Okay, thank you guys. Okay? All right.
Okay, the next, resolution number 8421, a resolution to authorize the mayor to enter into a purchase agreement with Ergonomic Ohio Home.com Inc. 14611 Sunny Grove, Houston, Texas, 77070, care of Arnold Reception Desks, 120 Court Street, Irvington, New Jersey, 07111, for the acquisition and installation of updated furnishings for city council chambers and courtroom in an amount not to exceed $100,255, utilizing general revenue funds.
See, this is sponsored by you, one of these guys.
I would make a motion to accept.
why don't we have the mayor explain what's going on with this so people understand? Okay. Say it again. You put a motion on the
But
floor?
you can go on and say.
Okay, you can put a motion, then we can have discussion. Okay, all right. The second, okay, let's open for discussion. Okay, go ahead, Mayor.
So real quickly, for those of you just visited, the courtroom / council chambers, as you can see, there's a considerable amount of work that is going on in the courtroom. So I was lucky enough to be awarded a grant that I wrote last, that was in 20. Wow. That I wrote in 20 to get funding to do the audio visual equipment in the courtroom and in the jail and in the court. And it will allow for the court and for council to do Zoom meetings, Teams, and those kind of meetings where they're not here. And it will also allow for the judge to hear people who are incarcerated, to hear their cases without having to bring them in the courtroom. So there'll be teleconferencing in the jail. To complement the new equipment that's going in, we brought in a company to redo the court, the judge's booth, the bench for the court reporter, and this desk. There is a nice picture on the door on your way out. For those of you who want to look at it and see what the finished product will look like, it will just make this courtroom look totally different, right? One of the things that people mentioned, this courtroom hasn't been updated in over 20 years. So to offset the about 180,000 we got from the county, we'll be spending another maybe 100,000 to then spruce this place up so that we can come into the 22nd century. So thank you, and that's what it's about.
All right.
Thank you. Any other discussion on resolution 8421?
Counselor Bahoviak, any discussion on this? Counselor
Yes.
Stevenson, Counselor Bahoviak.
Yes.
All right.
In December, when I first asked the mayor about this expensive desk, he made the claim that it was from a grant. And it turns out it's not from a grant. This is money from the general fund that we could otherwise use for potholes or other essential things that we need to have taken care of in the city. I strongly support the audiovisual materials that we're having paid for by grant. It's very important that we have good recordings. It's very important that we be able to hear each other. It is not very important that we have it look pretty. It was redone when Judge Walker was on the bench, and she got grant money and improved the courtroom. I don't think that this is a priority at this point in time.
Counselor Stevenson? Counselor Stevenson, do you have any discussion?
I don't see the point in wasting any time here.
Okay.
Okay. We had a motion on the floor to adopt by Counselor Gowdy, seconded by Counselor Smith.
Hey, so,
Yes.
you know, I want to say that, I want to say this, I'm a rising star. Okay, we're getting an elevator fixed. That's about $2 million. We're getting painted, everything's being painted. I've been here on council over 20+ years, and none of this is taking place. This place in the next 2-3 months will look fantastic. Okay. I will admit, I'm struggling with the carpet. Well, maybe we can work something out with that. But the desk will outlast us. It's what we're doing here is a win-win situation. Okay. It's going to go way beyond the council people sitting there. Okay. So I think it's a win-win situation. I want to thank you, Mayor, for writing the grant and making that happen. And when I think about the grants, I'm kind of troubled that we struggle to give them the right grants. And then we don't always act on the grants like we should. Okay, so this is $100,000 and it's a win-win situation. I didn't need to say. Okay, Madam Clerk, just call the roll.
Okay,
Any other discussion? Any other discussion?
nope. Okay, Counselor Smith,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Valerie.
She said it was gonna be a grant for this.
So the grant has already been accepted, it's the audio visual, about $180,000.
Okay.
Okay,
okay,
thank you, Valerie. Thank you very much.
all right, Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yeah.
Counselor Stevenson,
No.
Counselor Bahoviak,
Nay,
Counselor Martin,
Yay, and.
It passes.
For the record, it's passed. Thank you. Let's move on to the next.
resolution number 922, a resolution to approve and accept the City of East Cleveland's fiscal year 2022 one-year action plan and authorizing the mayor to submit said plan to the Department of Housing and Urban Development and upon HUD's approval to accept the FY 2022 action plan budget of an estimated amount of $1,123,300 for CDBG 17 and $251,861 for Home 22 and Community Development Block Grant Entitlement Funds from HUD.
Thank you. This is sponsored by,
This is sponsored by Counselor Stevenson.
Stevenson. Can you hear her?
Yes, Counselor Stevenson. she's
I,
on.
I sponsor this legislation and move for its adoption.
And I'm second.
Okay, it's been seconded. Are there any other, we have mail around each year. Thank you for showing. Why don't you just give a summary about this, what this is about, so people will understand what we're doing, okay?
So for the action plan, this is for CDBG fund.
Okay,
Our budget takes care of some of our administrative costs, that takes care of residents, take care of the residents. So our salaries are partially paid from this. Residential services is emergency repair, the paint program, and the lead program. All of this comes out of the CDBG budget. Demolitions that we take care of for the city. So some demolitions the city does on their own that we do out of CDBG. Some of it we leverage with the land bank to make sure that demos are done for the city. Public services. So public services, for those that don't know, that is the city taking in the $1 million of waste we get, and then we give out a grant to organizations that provide services for the city of East Cleveland. Public facilities and improvements is where we get streets done for the city. So we are planning on doing, probably from last year's funds where we didn't get stuff done due to COVID, we're gonna put about at least $1.5 million into streets that council's already approved to get done. And then we have parts of rec and economic development. So a lot of these things didn't get done because of COVID last year. So we got a lot of work to do this next coming year that staff is gonna be busy. So passing this budget and letting us get moving and rolling is a good thing for us. Thank you.
thank you, thank you. Appreciate you being there to explain it. And I think Stevenson, did she put a motion on the floor?
She motioned to adopt,
Okay, we
and it was
second
seconded by
that.
Ms.
Call
Gowdy.
roll, Madam Clerk.
Okay. Counselor Gowdy,
Yeah.
wait
Counselor
a second, wait a
Oh.
second. We're moving, it's time for discussion.
We had discussion.
I didn't hear a call for discussion.
We-
Ms. Pakoviak, what do you have to say?
what do you have to
We'll go
say?
back.
I've been concerned about this all along. There was discussion about the public meeting, excuse me, which was not adequately announced. The link for it was not adequately announced. There were people who could not get on the Teams meeting. So it was not an adequate public meeting. I am concerned that if we pass this, we would have to give it back because that meeting was not proper. That's my only concern. Other than that, I think it should go through. But because of that, I'm very concerned. And I do not think it's ready for, to be passed.
Ms. Rohovac, your point is well made. I'm gonna ask, Mayor, can I have the law director respond to that,
Absolutely,
please?
please, Will.
I'm sorry, we don't have a law director. She was not approved by council.
We don't need your editorial. Go ahead. You've been
I'm
recognized.
deferring
Right.
to, Director of Leach.
So the Columbus field office, Brian White, who's our field rep, contacted me by email
Okay,
and wanted verification and proof about our public meeting.
okay,
That information was also shared with council.
okay.
I showed that our last public meeting had more attendees than ever before. We had 28 people
All right.
and it's
That's
registered.
because,
History, isn't
that's
it?
because I publicized it.
Well, but good. You did something good. Okay, we got 28 people. Okay, so we'll have no barrier for us not to pass this. Is that correct? That we've met all the legal requirements. Is that
That I sent it to council to review every step from our meetings that we had last
okay?
July.
So we have the documentation. So if anyone want to make an issue, they can. But Madam Clerk, let's
Okay.
vote on this.
All right.
On the roll.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Stevenson. Counselor Stevenson,
No.
Yay.
yay.
Yay, okay.
Counselor Bahoviak,
Nay,
Counselor Martin,
Yay,
it passed.
it's passed. Thank you. Let's move on. All right. Go to the next one, Madam Clerk.
Next, resolution 1422. A resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Justin B. Anderson at a cost of $1,000, a parcel of land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 1865 Rosalind, East Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, Juanita Gotti, this is your resolution.
Yeah, I would move this.
You want to move to adopt? Okay, let's move a second, then we have a discussion.
I need a second to adopt.
I'll second, okay?
Discussion?
All right, go ahead, Mr. Anderson.
I'm gonna hopefully purchase this house and immediately start fixing it up. Yeah, I'm just excited about it. It's on a nice street, quiet street. And have the finances to start fixing it up and just ready to get it up to city codes and become a homeowner. But I feel excited about working here and owning a home here. It's always been a dream of mine. Didn't want to have to wait on my grandmother and them, but so now I can get it taken care of. So I hope that this council allows me to have this property. I also plan on putting solar panels on the roof. Because a house that size, I'm gonna need to find some way to cut down on the utility bills. So I humbly ask the council to allow me to purchase this property.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay.
And any discussion, Counselor Bahoviak?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Rohovac.
Nothing. Counselor Stevenson? Nothing? Okay.
Okay. Call.
All right. Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Stevenson,
Abstain.
Counselor Bahoviak,
abstain.
Counselor Martin,
Yay,
it passes.
All right.
okay. It passed. You had it, Mr. Anderson.
Give me the
Okay.
money.
All right, let's go to the next one.
Resolution number 1822. A resolution approving the mayor's amended financial fiscal recovery plan in accordance with section 118.06 of the Ohio Revised Code for submission to the Financial Planning and Supervision Commission.
Madam Clerk, I'm passing the gavel over to,
You need to pass it to Counselor, well, Counselor Bahoviak can do it from Zoom.
okay.
Counselor Bahoviak, the gavel's been passed to you on this resolution.
Counselor Martin, this
Yes.
resolution bears your name. What is your pleasure?
My pleasure is to sponsor resolution 1822 and move for its adoption.
And second.
We have a motion and a second.
Yeah, I would like to have a discussion from someone from the administration to give a perspective to the public, to know what we're doing here.
Counselor Martin made the motion to adopt. Counselor Gowdy seconded it. Counselor Bahovic.
And in the future, if I have the gavel, then I can certainly call for discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. We're waiting on you to call for discussion.
I did.
She did.
All right. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So, council, public, as many of you know, the city has been in and out of fiscal emergency for well over. City has been in and out of fiscal emergency for well over 15 years. Part of fiscal emergency requires us to submit this 5-year forecast or plan, if you will, which is also required to be updated on a yearly basis. So this plan is my plan. Since I took office, I scrapped the former plan, came with a new plan, and every year since then, we've been updating. As you know, I mentioned earlier, the coronavirus money, ARPA funds that came from our new president, the fiscal commission, which is the oversight commission, we're meeting Thursday via Zoom, asks that we make changes to our 5-year forecast to accommodate the ARPA funds. So that's what we're looking at here. That's what we're voting on here. Is that it?
That's it. Any other discussion, any other questions regarding this?
Wait,
Okay,
Bahovic.
go ahead.
Counselor Bahovic has the gavel. Go ahead, Counselor.
Is there any further discussion?
Counselor Stevenson?
This was in committee. How did it get back on the agenda?
It's a second read.
I can read. I can see it's a second read. It was placed in committee. How did it get back on the agenda?
I guess I put it back out there.
But you can't put it back out there by yourself. How did it get back on the agenda?
3 of them did.
Well, where's the document? Where are the documents?
It's not here, but it's been done. We can find that out.
Where are the documents?
Madam Clerk, provide the documents to her. Okay.
The document should have been provided before this meeting.
Well, okay, good. All right. Yes. Right. Okay.
Counselor,
Where are these documents?
they are in the packet that was sent to you by Bonnie Speed.
Okay. These were delivered to their home, weren't they?
And they got the packet on March 1st as well.
Okay.
And at that time, this process was placed in committee last week or week before last. Now it's on the agenda. Where are the documents?
Was it placed in committee?
No,
I don't
no.
remember. It was not placed in committee.
No, I did the meeting. It was not in
It was
committee.
not in committee. Because,
What do you mean it wasn't in committee? Look, go ahead.
okay, let's move it.
Counselor Bahovic, you want to call for the vote, please?
Against my better judgment, yes, I'll call for the vote.
Counselor Smith? Counselor Gowdy? Counselor Martin?
Yay.
Counselor Stevenson?
No.
Counselor Bahovic?
No,
It
It's
passes.
passed. Thank you. All right. Let's go to the next one. Someone wants to say something? Okay, if someone wants to say something, when you get.
Wait, Counselor Bahovic has to pass the gavel back.
I don't understand some of this.
Counselor
Counselor Martin.
Let me get started.
Counselor Bahovic has to pass the gavel back, to you, sir.
I will pass the gavel. once you're quiet, I will pass the gavel back to you,
What's
Councilor.
up, quiet, huh? Like you running something? Please. All right.
Okay, Counselor Bohoviac, go ahead.
Resolution 19-22 is on the agenda as a first read. And this is the one that I was talking about, having difficulty getting the full committee present and getting the full backup present. Counselor,
You have to give the gavel back. You have to give the gavel back first, Counselor Bohoviac.
I gave it back to Counselor Martin.
Okay, I have to read the resolution first, ma'am.
Thank you.
Resolution number 1922 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to accept the bid of and contract with Terrace Construction Company, Inc., 3965 Pearl Road, Cleveland, Ohio, 44109, for replacement of the Savannah Avenue and Orinoco Avenue water main project at $1,672,852.85 out of the general fund.
Okay. This is 1922, is it not?
Yes.
Okay. Patricia Blowback, you the sponsor this. What you like to say?
I just wanted to say that this is the item that I've been trying to get you to come to a council meeting, a committee meeting for several times. Also trying to get all of the personnel so that we can have a full discussion of the water infrastructure, the street resurfacing, and the potholes. At any rate, I anticipate that will happen. And I assume that when this comes back as a second read, we will pass it.
President.
Yes, Mr.
I want to
Smith.
state for the record that at the last meeting, it was stated that it needs to be changed. Madam Law Director, stop me if I'm wrong, if it's not come out of the general fund.
Yes, so it is front loaded. It is front loaded by Cleveland Water. So Cleveland Water gives us the money, it goes into the general fund. So we're paying for it out of the general fund with Cleveland of Water money. So it's one of those where you gotta explain it every time. It's front loaded by Cleveland Water. Okay,
Right. And this is a first read. So if there's any unreadiness, any concerns that any council person has, whatever, we got 2 weeks before we pass. So if you got your questions, get your questions to the administrator. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Ordinance number 2022, an ordinance to authorize the mayor to apply for a 2022 AARP Community Permanent or Temporary Improvement Grant in order to create a Superior Hill outdoor sports court for the public health and welfare. This is on a second read.
Okay, this is
You
second
need,
read.
right, you need to pass the gavel. Okay, you need to pass the gavel back to Counselor Bohoviac.
Okay, Ms. Blowback, I'm passing the gavel back to you.
Thank you,
Patricia Blowback.
Counselor Martin.
Yes.
We have ordinance number 20-22. It bears your name. What is your pleasure?
Yes, I like to sponsor ordinance 2022 and move for adoption. It's a second read. I like for the mayor so administration to give perspective on this, please.
There's a motion on the floor. I need a second.
Need a
Dowdy.
second.
Okay,
Right.
thank you, Counselor.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have any discussion?
Yes. Yes.
so real quick, this is something that kind of caught us by surprise. Sometimes I get lucky. We had been working on with our engineers. And I simply asked the engineers to give us what it would cost and what it would take to redo the basketball court up Superior and add 2 tennis courts. The initial plan was to do a basketball court this year. So for those of you up Superior, may have remembered during the campaign season, I was up there quite a bit, talking to residents and them telling me how they wanted that basketball court fixed because the kids were over there playing, but not really utilizing the facility as it should be. And I looked up and AARP sent out a blast email asking for people to write grants to fund outdoor activity. What a blessing in time that it happened right when we were looking at it. So I really want to thank council for speeding this through to read so that we can apply. Remember, I was saying earlier that these grants, you have to pass legislation to simply apply. Then if we're awarded, you have to pass a second piece of legislation accepting the funds. So this is just the first phase of it. And it will help us offset the expenses. Hopefully it pays for the whole thing. We can get it all done at one time. I was only honestly looking at doing it in sections. Right, so that's that.
Thank you. So basically what you're saying is,
Excuse me,
Madam, Lahovic.
yes, Counselor Martin.
Yes, I like for, what we're saying is we're applying.
Yes, this is to apply.
Okay. All right.
Um,
Go ahead,
Mayor
Lahovic.
King, I recall that we asked for a single page prospectus on this. And I apologize, I have been sick with COVID. I am just coming back now. So if we have received that, I have missed it. Did we receive that?
Yes, you did. The next day, emailed and dropped off a hard copy.
Again, I apologize. I have been quite ill and I'm back now and I will try to keep up with things a lot better, but thank you very much.
I have a question.
Yes, Counselor Stevenson.
Can you tell me where it was dropped off at? Because I haven't seen it. And I was in the office and I checked my box and nothing was in there. And I've checked my email and nothing was there. So
So it was dropped off at the council's office and it was sent over to council clerks. So you may want to check with one of them.
Honorable Mayor, can you do it again? Can you give another copy?
I'd be more than happy to push.
We're gonna give it to
Send it
Tracy.
back down. No
We
problem.
send it to Tracy and then the counselors can come and get it. Okay?
Bonnie speed.
This ain't a lot.
I'll make sure they get it. I was out of the office for 2 weeks, so I'll make sure.
We'll drop it off again, so accommodate the council.
No problem.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Okay, Counselor Bahovic, do you want to call for the vote?
I'd just like to ask whether anyone else did read this, this summary. Counselor Gowdy, Counselor Smith, Counselor Martin, did you read this?
No, I did not.
Counselor Gowdy, did you read this?
At the gender review, we had read over this and you was sick at the time and that's probably why you didn't know. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I will consider that adequate and I will call for the vote.
Thank you, thank you.
Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Stevenson. Counselor Stevenson,
yay, but I didn't get my information.
you said yay? I gotta make sure. Was it yay, ma'am?
She said yay.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Counselor Bahovic,
Yay.
okay, Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
unanimous pass.
It's fair. Thank you. Let's go to the next. We got a-
Okay, the next item is resolution number 21-22. And this is also sponsored by Counselor Martin.
Yes, you're gonna be holding the gavel for the next, until the end of the meeting, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
You're
Counselor,
welcome.
what is your pleasure?
I'd like to sponsor ordinance 22 move for its adoption.
I need to read it into the record
Okay,
first,
go
sir.
ahead and read it.
Resolution number 2122, a resolution authorizing the mayor to contract with Flock Group Incorporated, 1170 Howell Road, Northwest, Unit 210, Atlanta, Georgia, 30318 for license plate reader cameras with the amount of $71,250 being donated by Axon Enterprise Inc. for a 1-year trial period with no obligation by the city to purchase in subsequent years.
Thank you. This is I'm gonna have the mayor say something, but I need to say, this is a grant. Doesn't cost us a dime. Okay. If we have an issue with this in the next few months, for the next 6 months, we can terminate. Okay, and we kind of got in a pickle here because we couldn't get the other votes to get this done. Now, we've asked the mayor for years to get grant writers here and write grants. So he's done it. And we don't pass it. It don't cost us a dime. I get agitated about this sometimes. I really do. Okay, now, this is the first read. Okay, this is the second.
Well,
read.
we have to say this is a first read. We had a special council meeting for a first read, but we want to go over it again because Ms. Hemmons can explain. She tried to buy us a little bit more
Right.
time,
So-
but unfortunately, we will have to have a second special
Second
council
read.
meeting
Right.
to do the second read. Because
Okay.
according to charter, it has to be exactly 2 weeks apart.
And you know something? If, let's say we deal with it for 3-4 months, somebody says, well, we got a problem with it, we can terminate it, but to not act on it? A free grant? It's madness, and I feel that way about it, I really do. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Smith.
Counselor
Okay.
Bahoviak, Counselor Smith wants to,
I'll be recognized, Madam Vice President.
Ms. Bahoviak, are you still with us?
we lost.
She's muted.
I want to talk out of turn, so I'm.
All right, well, we gotta move the meeting.
Okay.
Can't wait around.
Okay, Counselor Bahoviak, Counselor Smith would like to speak.
I just recognize Counselor Smith.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. From the bottom of my heart, this is a very, very, very important legislation. Never before, I've been in East Cleveland all my life, never before have I seen a chief of police be this transparent. For the past 6-7 months, myself, along with the president of Black on Black Crime, who's in the back of the room, along with other varied members of the community, have been meeting with the chief of police via an open door policy. Sometimes the chief doesn't even wait until he gets a call. He will call me. For example, when our officers did something out of line a couple months ago, he immediately calls me and has a meeting with myself, the activist, and shows us the video and is very, very transparent, far transparent than any chief that I've seen in recent times. We have asked the chief constantly on behalf of the people and asked the mayor to please find other avenues instead of always chasing suspects, putting people and residents and people in other cities in danger. This chief has went out and done just that. With this apparatus, we can read the license plate and go apprehend the suspect later. Therefore, cutting down on the chases. If it's something that we don't like, we have a year to get rid of it. We have a year to terminate the deal. Again, I thank the chief of police, the captain of Lundy, the mayor, our council colleagues who work real hard on trying to find ways to see it from both sides. So again, very emotional about this. It's one day. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak before I speak?
I would like,
Can I say?
hello?
Right.
Counselor Stevenson.
I would like to address the issue that everybody is talking about. We can get rid of this in a year. Nowhere in this contract does it say that. And you all are saying that. So I would like to put a motion on the floor to include that in the written contract.
No, we're not gonna.
Well, okay, Counselor Stevenson put a motion to amend on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. You want to call for the vote, Counselor Bahoviak?
Call for the vote.
Okay, Counselor Smith? Counselor Gowdy?
Yeah.
Counselor,
I'm sorry,
Mark?
I'm not hearing what people are saying.
Do you know
a
what your
motion to
for?
amend the resolution.
That I heard. The responses I didn't hear.
So what?
She needs a minute, making sure that the contract
It's
is
already
right.
in there. You have to read it. It's already in there.
It's
It's-
already in
it's-
there.
Is
Oh,
it,
it's already
is it in the
okay.
contract?
You just have to read it, yeah.
It's
Okay.
already in there.
It's in the contract,
Okay.
Rescind your,
Where is
Would you
it
like
in
to-
there at? Because
would you
for
like to
2
rescind-
days I've been
See it.
looking
I can rescind.
okay.
She rescinded.
Okay, you rescind your vote? Okay, would you like to revote, Counselor Gowdy?
Ms. Rose, tell Ms. Broback, because we got, she needs to just do this whole thing over.
Yeah.
Make sure she get the vote correct.
Okay, we're gonna,
Why?
we need to
Why are-
redo this. We need to redo it to make sure we get the vote right.
Get it right.
Okay, what is the
No, we
motion
need
to
re-
amend,
we need
Counselor
to
Stevenson?
redo it. We need to redo it because Counselor Martin won't let Ms. Gowdy vote and he consistently interferes with the vote in the meetings.
You have to read.
Counselors or Martin, please recall that at the moment,
Yeah.
To read.
Counselor Martin, excuse me, I'm trying to speak.
Counselor Martin,
I'm listening, go ahead, Broback.
Y'all
I'm
hear
hearing
her?
other people speaking.
Well,
Counselor-
other people can speak, let them speak. I'm not stopping anybody from speaking.
Counselor Martin,
Yes, you talking to me, aren't you?
please remember that at the moment, I am acting as council president in your stead because you are sponsoring this. Therefore, please wait until you are acknowledged before you speak. Thank you.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Ms. Gowdy, you were trying to speak? Is
Yeah,
that,
I mean, if it's already in writing, then ain't no sense of me revisiting it.
Where, that's what I'm trying to get to. It wasn't in writing last week. Where is it at in writing in this document?
Could we have the law
It's-
director?
The law director stood in front of us last week and said that it was not there. She read it, but it was not there, and said that because she read it into the record, it was written in there, and that's not writing anything in anything. I want, if in fact this is an issue where we can stop this at any time, it needs to be written into the contract. That's what I'm asking for. So that if we decide to stop it, we legally have the ability to stop it. At this point, we don't have the ability to stop anything. We're stuck for a year.
so we have a motion and a second to amend the contract to state that we can
She's running this right now.
end it at any point in time.
It's all.
Do you have any further discussion?
Would you
Just a
repeat,
point of order.
Ms. Broback, we have the law director here. Can we
I'm
hear
sorry,
you?
it's unfortunate that since she has not been approved by the council, she is not officially our law director.
Well, what gives you?
A point of order.
Okay.
I just want clarification
All
in
right.
terms of the contract is only for 1 year. There's no obligation. I think that what I've heard is conflicting versions of what is being requested. After 1 year, this will automatically dissolve. But I have also heard at any time, what is in the contract is that this dissolves after 1 year. Okay, and that is what is in the contract. It's only for 1 year. Is that clarified?
So we have a motion
We,
to
Counselor,
end the contract. Excuse me. So that we can terminate in less than a year, should we so desire.
Okay, what the motion was, it, to my understanding, was that it could be terminated at 1 year, which is.
no, that's not what my motion was, and that's not your understanding. You are stating here today, standing here today, stating something different than you stated in the agenda review. In agenda review, You stated that it was written in the contract. I have reviewed the contract, that we could get rid of this at any time. The mayor even stated that he could just go and turn it off whenever he felt like it. These are all of the facts that you stated and the mayor stated in the last meeting. I'm simply asking that if that is the case, that information be included in the contract, that the contract be amended to reflect the fact that if we don't like the process or the program, that we can get rid of it whenever we want to get rid of it, not at 1 year.
Okay, what you said originally and what is my understanding is that you want to ensure that we can get rid of it after 1 year.
No, that's not what I said, and that's not why I'm not gonna continue to go back and forth with you, because that's not what I said, and I don't need you again trying to put words in my mouth. Thank you.
Ms.
Okay,
Hammond,
you want to clearly
both
state your motion.
Councilor Stevenson and I wish to have the contract amended so that we can terminate it at any point in time when we should so desire.
And that is the official motion you are now putting forward. Okay, well, put that motion forward.
Okay, Counselor Stevenson made the motion.
You second it?
I seconded it.
Oh, Ms.
You
Dow,
second it?
yeah, Bohoviac already did.
So-
You want to call for the vote, Counselor?
Yes,
Oh, the mayor wants to know if he can make a comment.
You can't see people.
I'm letting her know.
Okay, let her know.
The mayor
I'm
has his hand
sorry.
up.
Mayor King, if I missed you, you may speak.
Thank you. What I would like to state,
I'm not hearing you, though.
what I would like to state for those here, and I showed this at the last council meeting, here is the system that the LPR readers will be set upon. And as you look at it, you see all of these dots. The dots stretch all the way from Avon, North Ridgefield, Burke, Valley City, Richfield, Independence, Aurora, Bainbridge, Solon, Chesterland, Euclid, Willoughby, Fairport Harbor. So these camera systems will be joined in that manner. So if a car was stolen from Fairport Harbor and is traveling through here, the LPRs will pick it up and simply, hey, it's going east on I-90 towards Cleveland. Then it will pick it up there and they'll say it's going east, right? So that it rests in Euclid, right? The LPR, last saw it in Euclid, Euclid police can pick it up, it gets off, right? And go apprehend them. This is a crime deterrent or crime stopping mechanism. We as a city need to move into the 22nd century and adopt these types of systems so that we can better protect our residents, right? And better protect the city. Now, what I would like to say to council,
Mayor King,
would like
Mayor King, excuse me. Mayor King,
Can I finish?
let me ask you how this relates to the amendment. It does not relate to the amendment.
I'm getting to that right now. I'm getting to that. Right now. So,
all over the desk.
as I stated earlier, a lot of these grants have deadlines, right? The grant that we lost out for the Forest Hill Park, for the infrastructure improvements, died in committee, right?
That's a
This,
$50,000
that's a
grant.
50,000. This has a deadline, right? I would humbly ask council, right? Let this thing keep moving, vote it up or down. But if you toy around with it, changing words and changing that, right? We're gonna miss the deadline and we won't even be able to get it,
Thank you.
right? Vote it up or vote it down. Don't change it, is what I'm asking.
Miss Hemmons has her hand up, Counselor.
Ms. Bohoviac,
Excuse me.
you can't see me because you're in the office.
No, I'm letting her know. Counselor Bohoviac,
I will-
Miss Hemmons has her hand up.
I'm sorry, I'm next.
Okay, you're next. Go ahead.
And I have information that I have shared with council from the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties, and they oppose this technology, among others. And I would like that in the record before we hear anything further from the person who alleges that she is our law director, in spite of the fact that I have no evidence that she was ever approved by council as our law director. Thank you. Ms. Hemmings, you may speak.
Ms. Blahoviak, I'm not gonna argue this. The clerk, one of our clerks has something to add to this that might be productive. If it's our, I want Justin to say what he has to say. Okay, so would you please?
Yeah, Dr. Blahoviak, am I recognized?
Certainly.
Yeah, Counselor Martin wanted me to say a comment from our research we were doing. We believe that this would be very useful for the city.
Where is your research coming from?
Going to cut down on the high-speed chases.
Where did your research come from?
And I'll send it to you email, Dr. Counselor
Before
Blahoviak.
you go on, tell me what is the source of your research?
I can send it to you in the email. The
No,
NAACP
you won't.
actually.
To keep
also-
talking, you will tell me the source of your research, because my research comes from the American Civil Liberties Union. Where does yours come from?
I don't want to speak on it anymore. I just think that if you don't work on this, you're gonna lose
Give us the
the
source
only
of.
adjust the contract.
You are the deputy
Contract is fine.
Ms. Blahoviak, the law director has something.
You may call me doctor, or you may call me
You're
counselor.
not a doctor here in Ohio. You're not.
While you're in council chambers, you must address each other as counselor. It's Counselor Blahoviak. Counselor Blahoviak,
You're
please.
Patricia Blahoviak. You're not doctor in here. Okay. Go ahead.
And Ms. Hemmings would like to be recognized, please.
If no, I am a doctor, you can call me Will.
Thank you.
Okay. You're a woman. What I would like to say is, I would like you to go ahead and vote down the amendment, because if you want to take down the cameras, the license plate reader cameras, always rescind or repeal. Counselor.
Okay, so. go ahead.
Counselor Dowdy, you can always rescind or repeal this legislation. So any alternative, the reason that it's being donated is with the anticipation that it would go for 1 year. But if you don't like it, we can immediately have an emergency meeting and repeal the legislation. So rather than amend it at this time, I would like the council.
Makes no sense.
I'd like to call the question.
Yeah.
I'd like to call the question.
Counselor,
I like to say that this is a first read, so we're not passing this tonight. You got 2 more weeks. So if you want to do your research and do discovery, whatever the case you want to do, you can do it. But
We have a motion on the floor to amend the.
and can I be recognized?
You may.
I thought you was ending it, Ms. Blahoviak.
Counselor, you're right, Counselor Martin. We got 2 weeks. So why can't we amend this now and be done with this? Why do we need to wait and then come back and have a special meeting if we don't like it and go through all of that rigmarole when we could just contracts are amended all the time. It's a few words. It's not like we're changing the master plan of the contract. It's just adding a few words that people have been reading into the contract as we have been having these meetings and discussing this issue.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Stevenson. So we got 2 weeks.
Excuse me, Councilor Martin, you haven't been recognized. Please ask to be
I
recognized.
can't see you, Blahoviak. Where are you? All right, please.
Call the.
Calm down, Martin.
Yo, call the roll for the,
you trying to run
All right.
the meeting, you're down there, because I guess you think we're gonna, please don't. Please.
All right, there's a motion on the floor to amend the resolution to state that it can be canceled at any given time. I need a second,
You have a second.
okay? Call the roll. Counselor Smith? Counselor Gowdy? Counselor Martin?
Nay.
It fails. The motion fails.
Call the rest of the vote.
That was the rest of the vote. Now it's just, it goes.
I didn't hear you ask my name and I didn't hear you ask.
Oh, sorry, Counselor Bahoviak,
Yes.
Counselor. Counselor Stevenson. Oh, it's a long night. Okay, 2-3. It fails.
Thank you. The next resolution,
Ordinance 2220, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to take all actions necessary to accept the Shot Spotter technology from the Violent Crime Reduction Grant Program 2022 application 2022 VCR A02 00026 from the Office of Criminal Justice Services, the OCJS, to the police department in the amount of $149,236.58. This is sponsored by Nathaniel Martin.
Counselor Martin,
Yes, I'll sponsor ordinance 2222 and move was adopted.
No, it's a first read, sir.
It's a first read, it's a first read.
Yes.
But this is the first read, and I would like for the mayor to have someone to get some perspective to this. So when we do vote on it 2 weeks from now, we've discussed it a little bit.
Counselor Bahoviak, may the mayor be recognized.
first I would like to call to everyone's attention who was not involved, that we have been circulating information that I received from the Jail Coalition talking about this technology being implicated in the death of a 13-year-old in Chicago. There's been a lot of negative publicity about this particular technology, both on public radio, in the ACLU. The council, the activists in Chicago are very much opposed to this because, as I said, the inaccuracy of it is considered to be responsible for the death of a 13-year-old child in Chicago.
Patricia Glover, can I say something here?
How did you address me, sir?
I said Patricia Glover, can I say something? Council Patricia Glover, does that make it better?
You may speak.
Thank you. I don't know all the history about the 13-year-old, and I feel for the family. But here's another grant situation that we should have voted on 2 weeks ago, but we didn't for some reason. Okay, now this is another situation where if we don't like it, we can terminate it. We can stop it. But it's a grant, it's not costing us a dime.
But you all should stop saying that because that's not true.
Blowback, you're not controlling her.
There you go.
Because she's interrupting the council president. She doesn't do that.
So what?
Council,
How
you are
many
talking
times have you
on
interrupted people?
And
and
it's
on.
because I'm going to say it. And here we are with grants. And the grants isn't costing us a dime. And we're playing games. Let's give it a try.
Please sit down, Councilor Martin.
Oh, you see me? Do you see me? So what I'm saying is,
Please sit down, Councilor Martin.
no, I'm not gonna sit. Okay. I rise to speak. Okay. So what I'm saying is this. It doesn't make sense for us not to act on this. This is a first First read.
First read because it is not time sensitive.
Okay, so if there's a problem with this, you got 2 weeks to do whatever you have to do. And I think I wrote up this thing because I'm thinking about the $50,000 we blew because somebody didn't have a committee meeting or whatever the case may be. We, in this small city, we cannot afford to be thrown away from grants. We're not acting on it.
What does
It's
that
our
say there?
responsibility as council people to move the city forward. It's our responsibility. How in the hell can we justify that?
Has anybody been timing?
You're not the only one.
That needs to be said. It really needs to be said. I'm gonna say it all the time because it bothered me to see that we had blew. I don't know what happened if we didn't do it, but it's still somebody's committee and we never acted on it. Now we got, this is another situation. We playing games with this. It doesn't make any sense.
We have Counselor, we have
I'm finished.
Chief Scott Gardner on the line if anybody has questions for him.
Yes.
Patricia's committee.
I would rather hear that we listen to the people from the jail coalition, and I will ask them to come for the next meeting.
You want? No, she's bringing her jail coalition, but we need to hear from the chief of police.
The chief of police comes when he is convenient for him, and he does not show up when he's always invited. We've had people.
Hey, Counselor Smith has his hand up. Counselor Bahoviak, Counselor Smith has his hand up, ma'am.
Are we going to time him?
Who, Counselor Smith?
I would like to make sure that since we have people who are going on and on and on, that we make sure that we time everyone. At the point in time that I am assured that we are timing people, then I will call on Counselor Smith.
You could time him, he said. 3 minutes.
All right, Counselor Smith.
Hey, Counselor Smith, they actually get 5 minutes, council people do.
To the people of East Cleveland, I want to apologize on behalf of this council. I understand that from that point of view, some of it might be, a little chuckle, a little funny, and that's fine. But believe me, our life is on the line. Believe me, this is what's been going on for a while now. I beg of you to go on YouTube. Look at the council meetings. Unfortunately, they're not on the TV anymore, but fortunately, they're on YouTube. The minutes are out. I started myself first and foremost. I beg of you, if it's me, to get me, no matter what ward you're in. And that goes for every elected official up here. Missing out on free money,
Yes.
free funding,
Yes.
to serve the people, to serve our seniors. Is I mean,
First read.
excuse me. My colleagues have the right to say that, but they don't have the right to play with the health interest, rights, and needs of the great people of East Cleveland. For the record, the rules state that the chair of the meeting is not supposed to be vacant. I want to put, and I
I didn't hear what you said.
want to put that on the record.
According to the rules of the charter, the chair of any committee is not to sit there and debate back and forth with people when they give their discussion.
Well, Martin debating with everybody.
Martin's not the chair right now.
I'm not chairing this meeting. The last five
Look.
legislation. No,
Can I speak? Can I be recognized?
Come on.
You may.
I think that this is overkill and that we just need to vote. All of this conversation going back and forth and round, I'm starting to get dizzy because I don't know what y'all half of what you're saying, and some of what you're saying is not making a lot of sense. When this is a first read, we're not voting today. We're simply asking for some revisions to some documents to ensure that the city is safe in what we're doing. And it seems that if anyone has a differing opinion here, that some people feel that they need to be chastised. Well, it's not your position to chastise anyone here because we serve equally as a whole. So I would appreciate it if we would move with some kind of discern rather than all this interference and yelling that's going on now. Thank you.
All right, since this is a first read, I think we can close the discussion and go on to resolution number 26-22.
Oh. The mayor has his hand up, Counselor Bohoviac.
Is she gonna
Since this is, no, I'm not.
are you gonna recognize the mayor?
We've already heard him speak. Since this is a first read and we do not need to come to an agreement now, let us go on to resolution number 26-22.
Resolution number 2622, an ordinance to authorize the mayor to enter into a lease to own contract with NCL Government Capital for the vehicle purchases approved in resolution number 0622. Two Freightliner plow trucks at an amount of $243,850. Resolution number 0722, Freightliner EMS ambulance for a cost of $377,758. And resolution number 0822, the Kenworth plow truck, $233,502, totaling $855,110 at an interest rate of 5.24% over 7 years, equaling $149,065 for a total package price of $1,004,175. It's a first read.
It's the first, Ms. Blahoviak.
Excuse me?
Patricia Blahoviak.
Excuse me?
Counselor Bohoviac.
Oh, please. Councilor Patricia Blahoviak. Okay. Tracy, is this a first read?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do I have the floor, Ms. Councilwoman Patricia Blahoviak?
You do.
Okay. I'd like for the mayor to put perspective because we got a good deal on this. We got a low interest rate. It's a good win-win situation for the citizens of East Cleveland. Mayor, would you speak or have someone speak on this, please?
Counselor Bohoviac, is the mayor recognized?
Mayor King, would you like to be recognized?
He's got his hand up.
Thank you, Madam.
Yes, Mayor King, I will recognize you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Mr. Council President,
Thank you.
allowing me to explain what this legislation was about. Real quick, the last piece of legislation was talked about at length. However, no one ever explained what it was. We started off and Council President asked me to explain. That's why I raised my hand at the end. The Chief of Police, 25 years plus in the city, 25 years plus, is on Zoom. So if the residents see fit and want to go back and hear about the last piece of legislation, he is on Zoom and will have no problem explaining what ShotSpotter is. This piece of legislation is a matter of finance, right? Weeks ago, maybe a month ago, we did pass through new class of council and the new council president legislation on equipment that has been sitting in council's purview for over 2 years. This legislation has been sitting in council's purview. So what we did from an administrative perspective was have council pass it so that we could begin to execute the build orders on these as a matter of smart financial being. We want to lease these vehicles. As you can see, it will cost us $150,000 over 7 years, right? You've all heard the expression, cash is king. This is a smart financial move to lease, to own these vehicles over a 7-year period. That's what we are attempting to do here, right? Legislation's already been passed. These have already been put in motion to build and then acquire. We're looking at anywhere from 10 months to a year and a half, right? So unfortunately, we will probably miss next year's snow season, but summer of 23, we should have these salt trucks. So that's what this is about. NCL is a government-approved financing company for government equipment. So this is the lowest rate we're going to get.
Excuse me, Mayor King, let me interrupt and ask you one question. If this is something that we've already approved and it's just changing the financing a little, would there be an advantage for us to change this to an emergency and pass it tonight?
I would love if you would change it on the floor to an emergency and pass it tonight, because I've been on the phone with the contractors, Freightliner, Kenworth, Pierce, to explain to them what we were doing with NCL, and they're all in agreement since the former legislation was passed. I would love to square this away tonight, so in the morning, I can get back on the phone with NCL, we can sign the documents and complete the purchase of it. I would love that, yes.
Councilor Martin, this resolution bears your name. What is your pleasure?
I'll put a motion to amend 2622 to an emergency. Right?
Do we have a second?
Okay, you got a second from Gowdy.
Ms. Gotti, please say that I second the motion
I second the motion.
to amend to an emergency.
To an emergency.
All right. You have a first and second.
Can we call the vote on amending the resolution?
Okay. Counselor Smith,
Yeah.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Stevenson. Counselor Stevenson,
No.
All right.
okay. Counselor Bahoviak,
Yay.
yay. It passed.
All right.
Resolution 2622 was passed as an emergency tonight. I'll get the
It was passed to amend it
To an
to an
emergency.
emergency.
amend as an emergency.
Now we
Now
have,
you need to pass. Now you need a motion to adopt.
Uh,
No, I need a motion to adopt.
To adopt.
As an emergency.
2622 As amended.
Yes.
Okay.
Do I need a second?
Yes.
Counselor Gowdy seconds.
call the question.
Okay.
Question.
What's the question?
The question is to pass the resolution as amended, as an emergency.
Right.
We need 4 votes.
You had that.
4 votes, it's passed tonight.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
Now we got to call for the roll to adopt.
That's what I just did, call the roll.
Okay.
Okay.
Counselor Smith,
We call it for the road.
to adopt as an emergency. No, we did that. That was to amend it to an emergency.
Okay. You said,
Yes. Counselor Gowdy?
Yeah.
Counselor Stevenson?
No.
Counselor Martin?
yay.
Counselor Bahoviak?
Yay.
Okay.
It passes with 4.
All right.
Okay, would you like to pass the gavel back to the council president? Counselor Steven, or Counselor Bahoviak?
Counselor Martin, I
Yeah.
pass the gavel back to you. And let me state that I plan to, when we have the room emptier, so that I can keep it a greater distance, I plan to return to the council room for the executive session.
We're not, because this meeting was so long, we're not gonna do the executive session. I do have some things that I need you to bring out. I'll bring in my remarks about emails on the weekend, emails after 6 o'clock, et cetera, that I will address. And these are things that we got to deal with. Okay, but I'll deal with when I do my remarks. Thank you, Councilwoman Patricia Blower.
Okay, Counselor Martin, do you want me to,
Huh?
you're saying we're going to skip executive session and we're going to go to, okay, the
Yeah,
next
we'll
is,
go to-
okay,
I
So the
wanted
public-
to have the mayor in here, but because this is dragged out for so long, and I would like Corinne Stevenson to be here and Patricia Rhodes to be here face to face. Okay, because these issues that I'm gonna deal with, and I'm gonna speak about them briefly, affect every council person. Okay,
So
And we can all hear you right now. So if you want to move to executive session, I think we should.
no, we're not going to executive session. You're not here. So I don't want to.
I don't have to be there. I can hear your voice. I am under the sound of your voice. I don't have to be present in that room according to section 122 of the Ohio Revised Code until June of 2022.
Okay, we're moving to remarks and requests of the public, 3 minutes.
Okay, so come on up.
State your name and your address, please.
How you doing? I'm Samuel Brooks at 621.
I can't hear a word.
Okay, you have to speak up, sir.
Samuel Brooks at 1619 right from.
Can't hear a word.
They can't hear you. You see, if you were here, you can hear it. But you in the office, because I guess I'm not. All right, okay, maybe.
My name is Samuel Brooks.
All right.
Wait, shh. Everybody please quiet down a little bit. We're having a hard time with the speakers.
My name is Samuel Brooks at 1619, and I want the next door, block next door, 1615. I was gonna put a driveway there.
Okay, so you got here late, is that what you're saying, sir?
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know if we can do that.
I was here on time.
Were you here when we went through all, we went through about 10 of them, huh?
Exactly.
He wasn't on the list.
I wasn't on the.
You wasn't on the list?
He just probably applied for the new round that Ms. Gowdy's gonna have her next committee meeting.
Does the body want to deal with this right? If they want to deal with it, we can get them out.
But we don't have the resolution or anything with us.
We don't?
It hasn't been.
Okay, we'll get you about 2 weeks, sir. Just be patient, okay? Thank you. Sorry about that. We spent a lot of
Well,
time.
this took me- I've been doing this took me 9 months so far. Okay.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You're having a meeting.
All right. Okay, let's hear from, the citizens. Let's hear from them. I know they got a lot to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, Charles Home, 150 or 8 Road, East Cleveland, 441.
Okay.
There's a few things. First thing, I would like to see, and I hope that y'all will, like those people want to know about the land utilization program. Why don't y'all have a list of what it is and what it explains to them, so they'll know when they come here what it's doing, what they're supposed to do, and they know, and they won't have to go through all this.
Right.
I mean, that's very simple.
Well, either the council will put something together or the administration put something
Well,
together.
somebody have to.
Okay, we can do that, Mr. Holmes. There's no big deal. Go ahead.
That's y'all.
We'll do that. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Holmes.
Also, it's good that I ain't your boss, but I pay one. I would, because you're not doing this job properly. You know, that's to my understanding, the way I look at it. Have no respect for each other. People should respect each other. I finished a high school in Alabama in 1953. And they always taught me respect each other. Do unto others that you have them to do to you. So you want people to respect you, you have to respect them. You know, if you don't respect them, you got a problem. Now, anytime you got certain rules and regulations and laws, you're supposed to abide by it. You're the legislative branch. If there's rules and laws that you don't like as far as the govern the city of East Cleveland, you are supposed to change them. Not get up here and argue about them, you change them. You know, you just can't get up here and you change this and you do this and do that. If you're gonna follow the law, follow the law. That's for all of us. That's for the police too. You know, that's for everybody. If you don't like it, change the law. This is not a dictatorship. So then also, I would hope that the mayor would have more recognition of the people. Now, I haven't heard anything about the money that they supposed to, he was going around telling people they were giving them $3,000 to fix their house up. On fixing the house up. What the hell, if a person needs $75,000 or $100,000 to work on the house, what $3,000 gonna do? I mean, this is just common sense. And if you go in there to do something to somebody's house, you're supposed to have it inspected and go over it and fix it back up to code. You're supposed to have the house fix up the code. You know, that's understandable.
Wrap it up, Mr. Holmes, please. wrap it
Yeah,
up.
well, I could be here from now on, but anyway, just like I said, y'all need to get yourself together and get your stuff together before you come in here. Then you're gonna have to be arguing going on about it. That's all.
Latif Shabazz,
Yes,
go ahead, Latif.
4517 Stratford. I know it seems ugly, but this is the best meeting I have had.
Say that.
Supposed to
I
debate.
want Mr. Holmes here to say that again.
I'm not directed, Mr. Holmes. I'm not directed, Mr.
All right,
Holmes.
all right, go ahead.
But you're supposed to debate, so we
Right.
can understand what the issue is. You know what I'm saying? If I see 5 of y'all up there and all of y'all hitting each other's hands and and we don't know what the issue is. So you need to be prepared to debate,
Right,
Dr. McCoy.
right.
But she gonna have her information. That's debate. I feel good about this meeting tonight. I may not agree with some of the things, but I want to hear more debate so I know what the issue is. I see all 5 of y'all hitting each other's hands and saying it's passing, and we don't know what the issue is. Somebody gets screwed.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So this was a good debate, and I like to keep it up like this.
Thank you, thank you. John Jones, come on. Good to see you this evening, Ms. Jones. Go ahead.
Just a little.
I wanted to, just double clarify about the appraisal on 1739. I did send the mayor an email with backup information regarding the purchase and the appraisal that was requested by the city. And I think that was the response. What was that?
What did she say?
Speak up a little.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I did not receive a response back from the mayor, and I did give everyone a copy
Yeah,
of the sheets. This is
I want to say
Solange Wallace.
Gmail, right? Do you
Yes.
have a copy here? Here, I got it. Go ahead. Ms.
Okay,
Jones.
so this is from Solange Wallace. She's thanking me for resubmitting the appraisal for Hartshorn. And what I did was, this is also in conjunction with 1861 Belmore. I had sent her, Ms. Wallace, a list of all of the items that I purchased for that property. And I spent thousands of dollars purchasing all of these items. I bought a furnace, drywall. This is on Mike Smedley's work, because he had promised me 2 times that he would sell the property to me.
Mhm.
Okay, and then after everything was all said and done, I had to wait a year because someone had put liens on every land bank property that East Cleveland owned. I had to wait a year after that. And I went back to Ms. Wallace and Mike Smedley, and he says, yes, you can still purchase the property. At that time, I did my walkthrough with Antonia, but we didn't finish. Someone had boarded up the house. They said they didn't know who did it. And then I received a letter from Ms. Wallace stating that the property is no longer for sale. And then I think on October of 2020, they demolished the house. And I'm left with 28 windows. 28 windows.
Mhm.
28 windows. Some of them were brand new.
over 30 gallons of paint. I bought security doors because the back of the house was like wide open. And I just think it was just so insensitive for him to do that after I waited all that time. I spent all that money. I had contractors giving me estimates on rewiring the house because it was vacant for years. Electrical, plumbing. It needed a new roof. I got a price for $12,000 to do the new roof, tear off and remove it. And I still have some of the windows. I sold some of them, but I still have, some of them left. And this is the kind of treatment that I feel I get from the city. Because they denied me 1739 Hartshorn, because from what I understand, Mike Smedley wants to keep, the city wants to keep those lots. That's what the mayor said last week, right, Mayor King, am I correct? Okay.
Okay, Ms. Jones, when you get through, the mayor get to respond to your, I know you've been dealing with this for years now. Yeah.
Yes, I have. And the same thing with the 1855 Eden, small little corner property. They sent me the notice saying that the parcel is not available. That it's being retained for strategic development purposes by the land bank.
This is 1859 Hayden.
55.
55.
Right.
Oh.
So we have copies of everything that it was definitely for sale. Because Ms. Wallace is not going to send me, have me sign for the property if it's not for sale, because the city was stating for years that the property was not for sale, and I have it in writing that everything was for sale. So also on another note, not.
Gonna wrap it up?
Yes, wrapping it up.
All right.
I just wanted to sit down with council. I've been trying to do a grant, have a grant going so that we can have clean water, pure water in East Cleveland, not just East Cleveland, for, our whole community, meaning Shaker Heights, Cleveland Heights, because, well, you guys know we're all part, the three of us are part of League of Women Voters. And you heard the water presentation. So yes, we're trying to get a grant so that we can have the prescription drugs taken out of the water. They have to check for it and then remove it. And then I want the PFAS taken out of the water. We need a grant. President Biden has given a $55 billion clean water fund. We need to tap into that. Been trying to contact Ken Smith. I copied you on that, Council President.
Okay.
We need to sit down with him. I'm working with Danielle Dronay so that she can get a grant going, so that we can get what we need. We need to have people tested. We need to have their blood tested, their water tested, to know that they have clean water coming out of their home. And we need to act on that because Mike DeWine has a new grant coming out. I think we have to have the paperwork in by April. It's in April, but we need to sit down. I'd like to sit down with council and let's get it going.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Jones. Come on, young lady. How are you this evening?
Good, and you?
Okay.
My name is Linda King.
Linda King?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. King, go
One
ahead.
more time.
My name is Linda King.
King?
My husband Andre King.
That's your husband over there?
Yes.
Yeah, are you related to this king right here?
We might be.
All right.
We gonna say we
All
gonna.
right. Go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to bring, I had a few concerns.
All right.
I've been in East Cleveland for 23 years.
Okay.
Started on Scioto, and now we're on Neelaview. One of the concerns was the camera tickets, because now since we moved on Neelaview, we come down Noble a lot.
Okay.
My concern is, okay, during school hours, we understand about the camera tickets, but when it's not school time, it's still clicking at 10 o'clock at night. And a lot of concerns is that there's no speed limit signs nowhere in a lot of areas. Okay, so what's the speed limit when it's not school hours? Because there's no speed limit sign there. So how can you give us a ticket when there's no speed limit sign? That's one of my concerns. And Another concern that I have is about these properties. It's like, okay, isn't it a law that after, if you purchase a property after so many days, if you don't do the work, that it goes back to the city? Why can't we start enforcing that? We wouldn't have so many vacant houses, we start enforcing that, because if you buy a house in Cleveland Heights and you don't do the work, it goes back to the city. That's not, I mean, you can't negotiate it, that's the law. So what can we do to stop these investors from coming from other places buying property and then don't choose not to deal with it? It's not fair to us, because then it locks the houses up until they're not worth anything and they wind up getting tore down, and then we got another field. You know, so that's another concern. Another concern is about getting some programs like community service. You know, so you got a lot of people who owe money to East Cleveland. Let's get some programs so we can get the city cleaned up. Let's get a program together. I mean, pass out some East Cleveland garbage bags, something. Let's have a National Cleanup Day where we can all get together and walk the streets. And I mean, we did it a few times, but let's get it on the calendar more often. But, I mean, we can't put everything on the service department. There's not enough workers at the service department. I mean, it takes a community to all work together to make a difference. I'm here because I love East Cleveland.
Thank you.
All my kids graduated from Shaw, they've been in a band and everything. So I'm not here because I have to be, I'm here because I want to be. And I just would like to, I really apologize for this being my first meeting, but I work a crazy schedule. I'm a nurse and then I do other things. So I'm actually took off from work so I could come here so that I can, hear everything that's going on. And I know we did a little laughing, but it wasn't because we thought it was funny. It was just that, we feel you, And lastly, we have new police officers in East Cleveland. And one thing about it is I believe in it takes a village to raise your kids. And I've been here with Tiffany, Cleveland, all of them. And I had some bad kids. So Officer Vine, all of them, I have one son and the judge, down from the judge to everybody. I always said, if my son is wrong, snatch him up like he's yours, and they have. But now my kids are grown and we have these new police officers that are really harassing my kids. My daughter has license. I make sure she has license and insurance, and her car is in my name. And she got stopped on Euclid, right there by Euclid and Stratmore, where the police sit. It's two particular Caucasian officers that keep harassing her because she has a red truck. She had a ticket, which she didn't pay, and they sent the notice out, but she moved. So they put a block on her license, so she didn't know that. So instead of them giving her a ticket and a warning, they towed her car and made her walk home at 4 o'clock in the morning. And then they kind of harassed her, making fun of her, driving by slowly to have fun walking. That's not nice. And I'm not used to that. I've never had that problem before in East Cleveland. I don't know who these new officers are, but they're not. It's a few left that I know, but it's a lot of them that I don't know. And they don't seem to be open to try to learn the people in the community. And that's the one thing that we always had in East Cleveland, was knowing the officers. I know everybody, the mayor, from every department, the service, and I'm making my business to know the teachers, everybody, for my grandkids, because that's what you have to do. But these new officers, some of them they're not nice. And the way they talk to us is not nice. And I just wish that we could, I don't know how you can work on that or whatever, but I just wanted to bring it up. So,
Ms. King, I want you to get Tracy's number. We're gonna have a meeting in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And the police chief will be here.
Okay.
And we can work together and see if we can make a difference.
I appreciate that, because I got grandkids now that's growing up in the school system, and I want to keep
Next
the
week.
same.
Yeah, it'll be the 22nd, Counselor.
22nd.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Same time?
thank you for.
No, that one will be at 5:30.
At 5:30?
Right.
Okay.
Health and safety will be at 5:30. The
Okay.
committee meeting, then at 6:30, we have personnel appointments.
Okay.
Thank you,
you for
Ms. King.
hearing
Linda
us.
King, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, see you good.
How you doing, young lady?
I'm doing well.
Okay,
My name is Shirley Odom.
Shirley Odom,
Shirley
Odom.
Odom, OLDHAM.
Okay, Shirley, right?
Spell it O-D-O-M.
Go ahead, Ms. Odom. Okay,
The reason that I'm up here, I've been on Savannah and I was really surprised to see this about the infrastructure with the sewer. I've been on Savannah for 50 years. And out of all of those years of being on Savannah and different mayors that have been through the city, I have been asking the question, because Savannah's been a sort of a bad, I call it obstacle course. I'm gonna tell you what I call it, an obstacle course. Because when you're trying to drive down, you have to learn maneuverability.
okay.
Because you got.
It's that bad.
It's that bad. Some of the drains are no longer working. I've never had the problem with water backing up in my house, but I know some other residents who have had that problem. So to see this, I hope, I know it's the first reading, it says,
Okay.
but I'm gonna say I'm praying,
Thank you, thank you.
I am praying that this does happen.
And,
Because we need those pipes under there fixed so that that road and those streets can be resurfaced.
and Ms. Odom, if you can come to our next meeting and bring some people, we'd love to see
I
them.
will do
So
my
that people know
best.
we need to do something.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
and we've had a street club, but of course, right now, the street club is inactive. But
Okay,
for years, we had a street club and we've always been a part of trying to take care of, you know, what needs to be done on Savannah and the surroundings. And the young lady mentioned about the street cleaning up and the city doing a citywide cleanup. For years that happened. It happened.
okay.
We got out there, not just on our street, but all of the streets around the city. They did a citywide cleanup. We need to do that again because it is truly a mess. And I tell everybody, like the lady said, young lady said, I live in East Cleveland because I love East Cleveland. That's why I'm here. It's not because I have to be here. You know, and I think that if we all stick together, we can make it a better place. Take it back to where it used to be. You know, and if it's not back to square one, we can get as close to square one as we possibly can. Okay? One other thing, and this I've been calling the city all this week. Hayden Avenue, right before Northfield, is an obstacle course now. And that's for real. The freighters that are there, you almost have to drive on the opposite side of the street.
That's
Going
across
toward,
from that big church there, right?
yes,
Yeah.
from before the daycare, so where the daycare center used to be.
Right.
That stretch.
So we need to do something about that. The mayor's listening to you,
As
okay?
soon as possible.
Okay.
Miss Oldham, could I have your address, please?
Yes, my address is 14204 Savannah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. You all have a blessed one.
Thank you, Ms. Odom.
All right, amazing. Starting the
I
time.
don't want to do it.
Go ahead, Ms. O'Mays.
I know some got it said. that it was the best meeting. I don't know. Yes, it was basically the zoo. We don't know how to sponsor legislation. And I'm gonna say, you cannot force people to vote the way you want to vote. You vote your country. Other councils vote their country. And you don't castigate. Otherwise, some people don't know what castigate means. You don't criticize other persons on how they vote. And they vote their country. And I hope some of you are voting your country. And I applaud people to ask questions before they vote on things. And some of you should be asking questions because some of you have experience not asking questions and not, voting for everything to come before you. I've seen it has landed people in jail. Council has gone to jail, mayors have gone to jail, law directors have gone to jail. So you better be careful how you vote on things and what you vote on.
yet you have the authority. And let me just say something else, real quick and fast, in a hurry. You don't get other folks involved in your voting, when you're voting as well as you're passing legislation. You're supposed to show some professionalism. Now, let's suppose that we have guests in here from elsewhere. They come here. Why am I sitting here how they would say it was a zoo? They don't see how nothing is a company. From Heidelberg, you have to vote on this. They don't have to vote on anything. They vote nay and question until the questions are answered. You are the legislator. You set the policies, the rules, regulations. They implement them. That's council's job. And so if you don't ask questions, if you get caught with your pants down, you just got caught with your pants down because you didn't do your due diligence. And so I'm advising you that show some professionalism, respect your other members, whether they are here or not. Everybody gets sick at some point in time. And if they call in or if they're on Zoom or whatever, you respect them. Respect, get respect. But then when you don't respect, and you need to, when you get your employees involved in things that council should be doing. What are you trying to off?
Well, you got to wrap it up, Mr. O'Leary. You always let them speak longer. Come on, you gotta wrap it up. Come on.
It's over, sir. I want.
You got 2 more minutes on there, please.
I want that credit.
30 seconds.
2 minutes. Come on.
2 minutes.
That's 5 minutes
Give them
then,
2
sir.
minutes. Go ahead.
When, I'm just gonna say that.
All right.
Council has 5 minutes to speak. The mayor has 5 minutes to speak. You have 5 minutes to speak. You set the tone. You're the president of this council. You set the tone. When you're getting up, stomping and hollering and all going on all over the place. That's just not professional. So I'm asking, please, let's show some professional. And some of you, but I just hope that we will move the city forward and ahead, because you serve at the behest of the people. And so let the record reflect that I have spoken, and I hope that we will, and let everyone, the employees, in their place, they have a job to perform their job. Here is we hold the council responsible. You pass the legislation.
We fed a bunch of it today. Come on, young lady, what's your name?
Jacqueline.
Oh, Jackie. Hi, Jacqueline. I didn't recognize you.
Ms. Goodrum, take your mask down, please, so we can
Okay.
hear you better. Thank you.
Speak up, Jackie. Good to see you.
I saw a newsletter and I called Councilman Godby for it about it. I sent it to you.
You sent it to me?
Yes, and
Okay. All
it
right.
says the East Cleveland City Council is seeking community members interested in serving on the Citizens Advisory Committee.
Right.
And on it. So
So you,
thank you, sir.
right. Each council person, I don't want to take your remark, have 10, each has 10. Right. Mr. O'Leary is chair of the Citizen Advisory Committee, at least twice I know over the years. So what we need to do is we'll entertain anyone who wants to be on it, and then they meet with the elected president, and they meet, the last time they met at the library, so we're open to that.
Her time is.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
all right.
So that, I just wanted to.
Anything else, Ms. Goodrum?
That's it.
Thank, good seeing you, okay, all right. All right, now, we'll hear from, if there's no more citizens, and thank you guys for, it's been a long meeting.
Wait,
Go ahead. Is that-
Hello.
no, we have somebody on Zoom now.
We got this person, you need a person on Zoom.
All right,
Come up, sir, you last citizen inside.
My name is Lonnie Hill.
I thought that was you, Lonnie, how are you? Okay,
14217.
Yeah, you know, I'd like for our street to be paved from the police when you run up and down that street. One time, we didn't have no problem. We been older, every month, we clean up our street from one end to the other. And everybody took it, they would give kids hot dogs and hamburgers after the help them. They gave us 2 from the city. Now, everything breaking loose in these kids, shooting all night, next street over this left or right, you know? And ain't nothing we can do about it. And then the people dumping over there, I try to get.
You got a dumping problem.
Yeah. Then I get some of the license plate, and I called up to East Cleveland, turn it in. Then a couple times I chase somebody, every time I try to get to, they run through the light. Get their license plate off, dumping on our street. One time this guy was dumping, and I called the police. I said, when they backed in the driveway, they dumped a whole lot of stuff back there, but they didn't have time to dump it all. They go to one driveway and dump it in the next driveway. So they knew I was chasing to get there, to get the truck number. And I got it. But what I'm saying, we need something done about it. You ain't got that many police can do that. Ernie live on our street. Detective Ernie?
Yeah.
He live on our street. And that's why I said, I just looking out for the police and thing when they come through there and running all those truck holes and stuff like that. You turn up a lot of cars.
Yeah.
And that's all I got.
Thank you, Lonnie. Thank you.
Okay,
Uh,
Mr. Irby, you're next.
Okay, Tracy, Irby is the last.
Yes. Irby, you're the last citizens to speak now. Go ahead, Mr. Irby.
Mr. Irby, go ahead.
Kelvin Irby, 14002 Elm Avenue, East Cleveland. I got several parts I need to be addressed. I announced to you guys in the last meeting that my vehicle was struck, damaged by East Cleveland officer, K-9 Division. I asked for an answer and never got one. My vehicle was damaged in front fender, and I asked for my vehicle to be repaired. Yet and still, I'm getting no response. And the problem that needs to be addressed, I see that you'll pay everybody else for demolition work, you're paying for a desk. Y'all looking out for y'all, but you're not looking out for the citizens of East Cleveland. You're not. And then if we have you guys up there for elected officials to speak on our behalf, it don't seem like you speaking in our behalf. It don't. You want a a license plate reader when your ticket camera machines don't work like they're responsible for. They don't, because I got a ticket for a Volkswagen Golf, not even my vehicle, when I have a Volkswagen Beetle. How can you give a former council member who's not off the board, maybe 6 months, how can you authorize property to that young man? That's a conflict of interest. If he's on council within 6 months and you authorize property to that young man, that's a disrespect to whoever else was trying to get that property before him. I also see that staff was supposed to get in touch with people for this application for home repair. Still ain't got it to this date. We asked for street repairs to be repaired. The main streets that was on this list for years have not been repaired. Strathmore, we told y'all back 2012 when it was damaged from the stormwater project. Now you have a street that's totally destroyed. Totally destroyed. Where's that name? When is it gonna get repaired? It's funny that you picking out certain streets that's almost drivable, but not when a street is completely falling in. And then I asked this question next, and then I'm gonna close it. When do you look back at our city and say, it's a restaurant here that needs to go here. Where's the development of East Cleveland? Stop putting emphasis on things that don't make money for this city. It's nothing here. It's not a family restaurant, a license bureau. It's nothing here. I'll close.
Thank you, Mr. Irby. Anybody else on Zoom? Tracy?
No.
No? Okay, let's
Oh.
go.
Oh.
Go on to the.
Wait a
mayor.
minute.
Go ahead, Mayor.
Thank you, Council
Right,
President.
thank you.
Lot to cover here. First of all, thank all the residents who are here in attendance. Came out for the meeting, for the neighbor next door. I'd like to thank council. Excellent job tonight. We're getting a lot of legislation passed. Much of this legislation sitting in council's purview. And I know a number of residents have been asking about different pieces of legislation sitting in council's purview. So I'm excited that we're moving some of this legislation through. Thank you for turning the lease to own into an emergency and then passing it. I will try to go through some of the remarks from residents to get to them. Sad that my cousins left. My sister's name is actually Linda King, so it's pretty good. What can I say? Homeowner grant. Talked about the homeowner grant at length. And we do need contractors. We are working our way through this new program. So we're getting through the learning curve. We have had over 50 houses that have completely gone through the system. We have about 1,000 homeowner grants to execute, right? So please be patient as we get to you. For those listening or in the audience who have not been contacted by someone from building and housing, I will gladly take that information right now. Community Development Director Melran Leach is here. We will take that information from you at the end of this meeting so that we can get you started and in the system. John Jones.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that what happened to you. And I know I've apologized to you a number of times. I feel your concerns. I feel your pain. One of the things I think is worth mentioning so that people listening and people here, and certainly the council, can fully understand. This happened before I became mayor. This is not something that began under my tenure as mayor. After the last meeting, I did ask Ms. Jones to draft an email that we could tie a bunch of people in and I could send to building and housing. That was done.
Okay.
I apologize because she responded back. However, she didn't hit reply all. So what I just tried to do here was send it to your council clerk. Council clerk, I was wondering if you indeed got the email that I sent you just sitting here. It is in regards to that. I will, and I'm more than willing to go over some of that here. However, I think, as I stated before, it is a conversation that is better had in a small committee, right? Or in the mayor's chambers or council's chambers, as opposed to having it at a full council meeting. But it is council's pleasure. I got the documents upstairs, what I have, and I'm more than happy to go into it. Right? Okay. Speed. So we will look into getting speed signs up. However, speed signs do not excuse you from the letter of the law that you signed when you passed your driver's license test, right? So if you're doing 55 on a residential street, you gotta know you're doing that. Too bad Mr. King left. We had any further questions regarding the red light cameras? or anything of that nature, please don't hesitate to contact my office. That includes the Kings and all residents here in the city. What I would like to do also is ask Mrs. King to set up a meeting with the police. As we mentioned before, the police are more than willing to sit down and talk with you. There should be no harassment. It all takes training. We bring in new officers, and as you know, we had sensitivity training with Ronnie Dunn from Cleveland State. We're planning on doing it again. COVID happened, so we are going to be doing that again. Community policing is something I've talked about at length, and I've been implementing since I've been mayor. What I grew up on here in the city. It works. I'd like to thank Mrs. Holt and Lonnie for coming out. I would encourage you to come back out when this thing is red again, right? Bring all of your residents. As was stated, this is something that happened in 2012. It kind of got lost in the whole fiscal cliff and, not being East Cleveland anymore through proven leadership. And I got to thank OHM and Keisha for getting us in contact with Cleveland Water, getting us back in good graces with Cleveland Water and on a payment plan. And now they've reinstated these streets. So it's imperative that council pass these so that we can bring much needed relief to our residents. Citywide cleanup. We missed those days, right? Remember we had Team Rubicon out here at the MLK, 2-3 days, cleaned up Chapman, cut the love to get back to that. COVID has slowed us down and sped us up in a number of ways. So we'll keep working. I'm looking forward to getting that back. Mr. Lyon, please come back with a shot spotter and then license plate reading, right? Campaigning, and not just campaigning. Residents tell us all the time they're tired of the gunshots, right? Are they shooting at anybody? They're just shooting, right? Shot spotter will help do that, right? It will help us curb that. What was not mentioned is that shot spotter triangulates shots, right? And it tells police where the shots are coming from. Well, you have to understand, because I remember the first cell phone. It was in a bag, right? I remember when they said cell phones don't cause gas, right? Now today, cell phones about that big and do anything you wanted to do. The technology, why I say the technology in the shot spotter has gotten better since its introduction. We have been chasing shot spotters since 2019, right? In which we talked to some consultants who helped facilitate getting it on a bill at the state level, right? Because throughout COVID, gunshots have been going up all over the country. Crime with guns have been going up. Fireworks are just ridiculous over the last couple of years, right? So they got it in the bill so that we can try shot spotter for free. When we get resources and the opportunities for that, we simply must take advantage of them as a city. Must take advantage of resources that come in, because it's been so long we've been deprived of these resources, haven't had access to them. Now that we have them, I would ask residents, please show up and demand from us, your elected officials, that we do what you put us up here to do. That will conclude my report. Unless there's any questions or comments, or I would suggest we set up a date and time to sit down with Ms. Jones and go over that, but I'm more than willing.
And I'll try to be a part of that. She's been dealing with this for a while. And the guy wants to be a part. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Ernest Smith, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay.
I want to thank my colleagues, our clerks, great clerks, Mr. Mayor, each member of the administration. Most importantly, I want to thank my neighbors, our neighbors, great people of East Cleveland, either on Zoom or in person, coming to check on your health, interests, rights, and needs. A special thank you to Ms. Odom and Mr. Lonnie. They know why. And Small Ward 3, report demolition continues on, Graham and Beersford. Want to thank our, great service department, and I don't like asking the residents to be patient, but please be patient. There's only a few, members of the service department with a lot of work to be done. Also want to let the mayor know that the guys that were cutting down the trees, I didn't call Antonio on purpose, because that wasn't the service department that were cutting down the trees on the corner of 6th and 133rd. Kind of too long. It's been over a month. I thought they were going to come back and retrieve the trees, but they haven't. And again, that wasn't the service department who cut them. I just
Yeah, so most of us know, but for those who don't, when the utilities cut trees off of the utility wires under, what is the state that governs utility? PUCO. Under PUCO, they cut the branches and leave them. So if you call the city, we will come pick them up to say they're a nuisance and you'd like them removed. But under PUCO, which governs utilities here in Ohio, Public Utilities Commission of Ohio, they cut and drop. So just call Antonio, he'll come get them.
I'll leave off by saying again, thank you to our current police chief. Again, as I stated before, I've been in East Cleveland all my life. Never have I seen the transparency of this particular police chief. Never has a police chief in East Cleveland met with us, the activists. I'm not talking about the council, I'm talking about us, the activists, once a month, because nothing moves without the power of the people, but also nothing moves without the ears of the other side that you are talking to. So the chief and the captain and all the leadership of the police department have given us their ear, along with hearing the concerns of the people about the chases. Therefore, came up with the license plate reader. We cannot go by what's going on in a city like Chicago, who is 10 times bigger than Cleveland, so you know it's 100 times bigger than East Cleveland. Right. I live on Strathmore, right in the middle of East Cleveland. You know how many times I see the police going to a call of shots and they are in the wrong place. So I'm hoping, praying that this will work. Again, we can terminate it. If it don't work, I understand politics and I understand people tricks. I see things I don't like. That's why I'm so happy it was a packed room tonight and you all can see what's going on. And again, I beg of you to look at YouTube. Some of us are a little older. I have to help my older members of my family get on YouTube. Ask younger members of your family to help you watch the meetings. And first of all, I'll start with myself. If it's me, please get on me. If it's anyone else, whether friend or not, please get on that individual. This is definitely not the best meeting that I've been involved in. There was a whole lot of unnecessary politicking, playing with the people, period. Playing with the people. Information has just come to the meetings. You will always hear. I don't have enough information. Then the next week it's a whole total different reason. You have a member of the community always trying to get on us, but back there talking while I'm trying to talk, always disrespecting and breaking rules. When is it gonna stop? When is it gonna stop? And let me say this. Let me close with this. I'm very, you know what? I'll say that for the community, meeting. Please come to the personnel and appointments committee meeting. What we were going to discuss tonight in executive session, we will be discussing in front of the people at the personnel and appointments meeting next Tuesday at 5:30. Just for the record, I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to him. Thank you.
Brother Smith, thank you.
Counselor Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Irby typed in, he's looking for a response from the mayor what happened about a response on the damage to my car?
Mr. Irby, I'll see if the mayor want to respond. Mr. Irby, what is it again he wants?
His question about the damage that happened to his car by the police vehicle backing into it.
All right. Mayor, would you respond to that? please?
Sure, I will respond. I wasn't sure which Mr. Kelvin Irby that was. One of them I know used to work for the service department.
That's
think
that's
the one-
Mr.
If that's the
Irby.
one, I'm sure he will remember if he has an issue like that, he needs to file a police report,
Mhm.
not come to city
Can I-
council about a car accident.
Okay, we're not gonna have a debate.
Council, can I be recognized? This is Assistant Law Director Heather McCullough, who spoke to Mr. Irby.
This is Ms. McCullough?
Yes, Heather's on the
Go
phone.
ahead, Evan, go ahead.
I spoke to
You
Mr.
do.
Irby when he first made his claim. We're not necessarily disputing that an accident occurred. The issue came in as to the damage and the level of damage that Mr. Irby was claiming. I asked him to submit documentation to me of the level of damage that he said that he was claiming, because initially all he brought to me were photographs of the car, and that did not appear to match the level of damage that he was claiming. So I'm still waiting for him to submit to me documentation to back up what he's saying the problem is with his car. And then we can proceed from there.
Thank you, Heather. I think did you hear that, Tracy?
Yes, Mr. Irby's online. He
All
heard
right,
it.
thank you. All right,
Question.
let's go.
Mr. Martin,
Is that
Mr.
Mr.
Martin.
Irby? Oh,
yes,
what
Mr.
is-
Martin,
Go ahead.
and the mayor, all of my information was sent in and turned in, two estimates, two photos, and they were submitted. These were copies that were submitted to your office, was Xeroxed by your staff. I gave the original pictures to your staff. These copies were made by your staff. The report itself was given to your staff.
What I do not have is something that says that the undercarriage of your car is cracked. You submitted invoices, but you did not submit documentation backing up. What you showed me is the outside of the car, which does not appear to be as damaged as you claim it is. So we ask that you submit something that says that the undercarriage of your car is cracked, and I've yet to receive that.
Mr. Martin, as a witness to every piece of paper, you have collision damage from Central Cadillac. You have an estimate from LJI Collision Center, Cleveland Heights. None of these estimates are false, and each estimate were given to you and your staff. So Mr. Martin is my witness that every estimate was given to you properly. All your paperwork was submitted back to you. There's no reason for me not to have my vehicle repaired. Now,
It is when there's a question about the damage. We'll have to discuss that at a later date. We can't.
They gotta work it out. We gotta move on. Thank you, Mr. Irby. Thank you, Ms. McCullough. Let's go to Patricia Bloviak, please.
Thank you, Councilor Martin.
Thank you.
And how are you going to address me now?
Councilwoman Patricia Bloviak, that's how you want to be addressed?
Counselor is just fine. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Going back to the shot spotter. While it is a wonderful idea, if it works, the problem is that if it has caused problems and is not working in other places, it's probably not going to work here either. And we need to pay attention to when it works and when it doesn't work. The weather is promising these days. In Cleveland Heights, they have something in that they call a pollinator pathway, and they're trying to get more flowers and things for the bees and the butterflies. you're probably aware, people who are older remember when we drove our cars, the windows were just full of bugs, and the bugs have changed. And we need to make sure that we have food for our birds. So that's another thing to think about. But I will be back with the information about what is wrong with the shot spotter and who's died because the shot spotter wasn't accurate. And it's very nice to see that people are getting their property, and I hope that a lot of them put flowers here and there. But anyway, it's a pleasure to see people at the meeting, and I look forward to seeing you at future meetings. Thank you.
Thank you. Corinne Stevenson, please.
She's no longer online.
She's gone?
Yes.
Okay, Guy, you want to speak now? Go ahead.
Thank everybody for coming out tonight, and yes, we did it again, giving them the property that they need to put, if they need to put. Garden is very important, because we don't have no really grocery store, so there's some, vegetables and stuff that they can actually have in their backyard. And then a lot of people share anything, so we need all the garden for the community. And looking forward to move our city forward. And far as voting, I could vote the way I want to vote and decide to change my mind, but I want to change my mind because you can't withdraw from your vote. So, and also, about the Ms. Jones, I am so sorry that happened to you. And I mean, my heart go out to you, and hopefully we get something done as councilors and the mayor working together, because you deserve to get your money back, you deserve to get something. So we looking forward to talking to you, sitting down, talking with you. And far as the potholes and busting up people tires. And I wish that we could get a program on that, just reimburse some tires or something, because these are hardworking people, and they going back and forth to work. And I mean, we didn't ask for this to happen like this, but it's like this. We need to work together and get something done with the money that we have, Also, I'm thanking Martin, Councilor Martin, how you took over the council meeting, just continue being strong, because you compassion, when we lose the money from grants.
Yes.
I mean, that's something that, like a smack in the face. We talking about we don't have money, but yet you let something die in your committee, and knowing that $50,000 could help anybody, especially in our ward. So I am very compassionate about that, and these police officers definitely need to know who's riding in our city, So if a grant is free, why not do the grant free? This is free money, So why can't we do these have these police officers to do their job? We're talking about them flying up and down the street, then we'll wonder why they flying now, So it's good to look behind license plates to know who's in front of you, because there's a lot of things that's happening in our city, a lot of snatching and killing and robbery. It's a lot going on in our city, and we need to be safe. So if this is what it's going to take, I'm for passing that. I am for the safety of our city and our citizens. And also, nationwide, the camera ticket, if we can just I wish we could get rid of that stuff. Because it's not, I mean, the potholes is costing the citizen money. Then they have to come and pay this fine for a camera just flashing all the time. I would just ride down the street and I would just sit there and it would just flash. So it's a big problem. And last year I had did a Christmas for the tickets, for the tickets.
You did.
The red light tickets to come in, and get rid of that, get some of the pressure off the people, you know, and if we can do something
Pressure
about
on me.
it. Thank you. And I had support, Judge Dawson supported the program, you know. So, I mean, I would love to see that gone, you know, because if that can help the residents, that will help, you know, a lot to get rid of those red light cameras. Then we just flash. Also, Judge Dawson, I'm going to be working with him because I missed my appointment. My sister, I take care of her. I'm her nurse. And I take care of my sister, and she had surgery in her eye. And my brother has something going on with him. So I'm taking care of my family. And to do a program of cleaning up. Community service needs to come back into our city. I was riding down the street today. I see so much garbage like everywhere. It's like it's like shocking, you know. And it's not that we can do better. We can do better, but we got to get the people, instead of them paying their fines and stuff, let them get out here and pick up some of this garbage and stuff.
Yeah.
So I hope that we get a program going on with that. So that's my report, and I'm glad that we passed all the nights and stuff today.
Thank you. I rise to speak and I'll be brief. First of all, a new fire truck. Come on, that's a fire truck. Brand new fire truck. Neighbor next door, we did 10 of them. Okay, the people, what I did this time was, I said, if we give these people these lots for $100, they can at least come. And they came out. Some of them have never been to a council meeting. Okay, so we did real good with that. Letitia Bobs, thank you. We're not gonna always get along. It's got to be debate. That's how we learn. We learn from debate. Okay. When I took over beginning this year, I said my function is to work with the mayor. To work with, so we can get some things done. Okay. Almost 50 pieces of legislation was acted upon last year, Mr. Smith, Brother Smith. We passed a lot of that. Okay. And forgive my passion about grants. We hounded Brandon about getting grant rights. We write to grants. The police write to grants. The grants are positive. $100,000 grant, $150,000 grant, $71,000 grant, and we don't vote on them? Okay, please. Please, and I'm not going to point finger at anyone, but it speaks for itself. Okay? This will help our police. If the license meter don't work, we cancel it. If the shot spotter don't work, but to not vote on it, to not show up to vote on it. And I wanted to have an executive session to discuss some issues with our clerks and stuff that was important. And two of the council people are not here, so I'm not gonna have the meeting, okay? They need to be here. They need to be in front of the people. When I look at this, and I look at this, and I say, look, executive session is where we can go at each other real strong. It's not recorded, but we cannot, in a 3.1 mile city, lose grants. Okay, $200,000, shot spotter, license agreement. Okay, and the one up here on the $50,000 one, come on, $50,000 grant. Okay, because somebody didn't have maybe that's irresponsible. That is irresponsible. We got to do better than that. Okay, so what we're doing with this group of people, I got one of the best clerks there is, an assistant clerk, Tracy Eugenia Peters and Justin Anderson, young guy. Okay, we're getting stuff done. We're not fighting. Okay, what you don't know is that they want East Cleveland bad. Okay, I'm talking about University Hospital, Cleveland Clinic, and University Circle. It's only a mile away. It's going east. There's a lot of land, and they're buying up now. We have agreed to make sure that if they start building these $250,000, $300,000 homes, that they don't price the people out. We got to look out for them. Okay? So we got to stay on this. You think people think the East Cleveland ain't happy, but it is. They want it.
Yes, sir.
They want it. You got college students up here in Lake Park Tower, right up to here, that big tall building. They don't have a problem. You hear about crime. East Cleveland ain't that bad. Okay? I'm out here all the time. Okay, I'm out here. What I wanted to say, and I'm going to say this, and this is going to be sent to all the council. Number one, the clerks don't work every day. Saturday and Sunday emails, 5 10 emails every day, Saturday and Sunday. That's got to come to an end. I'm ending it now. When you close up at 5:30, no more. You don't have to deal with no emails. I'm telling you that as your supervisor. Okay, on the weekends, don't touch these emails. Ever since I took over this Stacy, they send these emails every day. Every day, 10 or 15 emails out of their mind. They must be out of their mind to send these emails. I said, what they thinking? They 24/7. That's all they got to do. Every day, Saturday and Sunday. It doesn't. They can't do that. No, it's stop. After 5:30, you don't have to be this. Okay, not on the weekends. They don't control your lives. Okay, since they wasn't here, deal with it. I want to deal with them. That is stop. And we're working on to make sure it comes to a stop. And I'm not putting them down, but you know what I've been on this council for about almost 30 years. And I have never seen so many emails in the last 3 months. 30 years. Why? Some people think they're smart and have all the brains, and we're idiots. And some people are not. Don't use common sense. That's the what else? No personal phone calls from anybody. When you stop at 5:30, we're through with it. No more of this mess on Saturdays and Sundays. I'm looking at this stuff for 3 months, Randy. They send an email every day. They got nothing else to do. Please. And I know they're gonna have something to say. I'll say it to them. But it's got to come to me. Help us. Brandon's got an awesome job. The potholes, pavement needs to be paid. It needs to be paid. Hopefully we can find some money somewhere to pave it. Okay, Strathmore needs to be paid, Brother Smith. Okay, all right. Latif, we got to do this. Okay, men gotta look out for each other. Men gotta look out for the women, right, brother? Like, right, you next to Stacy, ain't you, brother? This is what we got to do. Okay. We have got to work together. We are the only municipality, according to Homemade, got a black judge, got a black legislature, got a black administrator. The only in the state of Ohio, Homemade. So we got to work together. Okay, it's not gonna be a perfect situation. Prayerfully, let's hope that we can work out Don Jones. I respect her. I went to one of the water things that she did, was very comprehensive. Let's see if we can reach some common ground where if we don't get it up, we give her half of what she got. Let's give her something. Okay, she has been patient and she's been coming. Okay, but starting today, 5:30, no more emails. They don't have access to you 24 hours, 7 days a week. They don't. And I'm upset about it. And that's what we'll talk about that. Since they didn't want to be here, and they're not. For whatever reason, they're not here, but they're not here. So it's out there. I want the clerks to send because this is what it's going to be. I think I have the majority of the council say this has got to come to emails 11 o'clock, 7:30 in the morning, Saturday, 5, 6 emails, Sunday, 5, 6. What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? Okay. I needed to say that.
All right.
If you got men who want to be police officers, have them take a shot. Got men, women who want to be firefighters, have them take a shot. They get great experience. Okay, this city is going to change in the next 5 years, whether we're here or not, because we have location. This is Route 20, you take all the way to New York. You could get on here. Okay, we got the health line, it's running for 6 hours. We got Windermere. You can get on the rapid Windermere and you get on the rapid, you can go anywhere in the world. We have location, they know it. Okay, so they've been looking at this for 20 years, but they can't do it without coming through the government. We have to stay on top. Ernest Smith, Juanita Gao, Nathaniel Martin, Councilwoman Patricia Blowback, Corinne Stevenson. But we got to work together. Okay, we can't hold legislation. I looked at this the last 3 or 4 weeks, passed over 50 pieces of legislation that was left from last year. What the hell was that all about? Okay, come on. But I'm not gonna we're moving it on. And we're gonna work together. I told Brandon, I said, if we don't agree, let's work it out. Like men. Okay, let's do that. Okay? We've lost someone who left us, and she's in my prayers, Linda Kyle. She'll be back. I know she's having visual problems, but she's always been a professional. Okay, so I hope things work out. Stacy has stepped in and she's doing a good job, and she has I like her attitude, she has a positive attitude. So this is stuff that we need to do. But closing, no more emails after 5:30 Monday through Friday, no emails over the week, none at all. And when you get the emails that are relevant, prioritize. Okay, they do not have a right to. They've been controlling their lives for the last 2-3 months, sending all these emails out. Okay, so I see the old maids will.
Nope. Council,
Yes.
you'd be happy to know that council's worked so diligently the past 8 weeks that tonight you passed a record 16 pieces of legislation.
We walk in, we go over it, I do my, people say, why do you own this? Because I do my homework. And I look at some, hey, Brother Wilson, what is all this legislation? Okay, so we don't have time to be going. Why would, I just don't know why someone would not pass a grant. We don't cost us the time. I can't, it's got me mad. Okay, so I didn't mention nobody's name. I'm praying for everybody. Pray for me.
Yes.
I got my shortcomings. I'm not perfect. I work on myself all the time. Surfaces of the mind for pretty intelligent folks. Working on that mind all the time, people. All right. Whatever the case may be. I have spoken.
You need a motion for adjournment?
Okay. I'll accept the motion to adjourn. Second. 8:20.
No.
9.
All right, so look how long we been. 9:43. Okay, this meeting's adjourned. Thank you guys for coming out.